up for it at the moment.
Motlop lurking again. Through comes Jace Burgoyne, son of Peter. Hand pass away to a teammate under a lot of pressure. The WA forwards working hard to keep it in, but so far South Australia have been good enough to hold up to that pressure. Clearing kick comes out. The fist of Watson sends it WA's way, but nicely done by Draper. Now he's caught. That's a good tackle. We've got a ball up again for WA, and the forward pressure has been good early, Jordan.
Yeah, absolutely. Lockie Payton's laid a couple of really nice tackles. He's a hard man to take down, Jason Horne-Francis, but Lockie Payton did exactly that just then.
Sheldrick with the kick, inside 50 again, and coming late, taking the mark. No, not paid there for Williams. Dittmar wants that football, gets the hand pass out, and WA setting it up for Sheldrick again. Kicks to a dangerous position. South Australia have the extra numbers, and that's a well-judged mark by Wangaleen Miller. Wants to put it out in front of Burgoyne. Space to run. A couple of quick bounces, draws the man, pokes a kick over the top. Sets a bit of a task here for his teammate in Lockie Grubb. Burgoyne backing up well. South Australia have built this passage of play nicely. The kick towards half forward. Again, just falling a little bit short. Asking a bit of Ferris, who then becomes the tackler. And we'll see a ball up. South Australia have done that a couple of times already, Jordan. Little chip passes around the field, but not quite hitting the targets.
They do have some nice outside run, though, don't they? The likes of O'Loughlin, Wangaleen Miller, and Isaac Bird as well. So they've got plenty of fleet-footed players here this afternoon.
Dittmar in and under, feeds it back to Johnson. He lays it off by hand, and now Tunstall down the line. It's a good kick. It's WA starting to build their passage of play. Williams on the end of it. Good mark. It's a good size and mobile forward. Wants to send it in towards the pocket. On the lead, doesn't quite get to Regan. Motlop will be dangerous in this position. Watched very closely there by Blaine O'Loughlin. And the ball goes out of play. And the nephew of the legend Michael O'Loughlin, I'm told.
Yeah, that's
prospect
correct.
As well.
Jesse Motlop, the son of Daniel, who's played 3 games of Waffle Seniors this season for South Fremantle as well. So a super talent and part of Fremantle's Next Generation Academy.
There's a few NGA prospects out there for both sides. Woden with the kick again. Possible father-son for the Demons, of course. That's almost a mark. It was a wonderful effort deep in defence there from Becker. Umpire watching closely from a few metres away, didn't pay it.
Looks like Becker's got the job on Jai Amos, the sharpshooter from East Perth, who's kicked 49 goals, 12 this season in the Waffle Comp. It's just simply astounding.
It's remarkable accuracy, isn't it? There'd be a few AFL teams that wouldn't mind someone like that up forward.
Yeah, one locally as well, Fremantle.
No doubt there's plenty of scouts. I've seen a few of the scouts up here in the grandstand. Got the binoculars up and the team list and the notepad in front. Umpire taking a little bit of time to set up this boundary throw in a good position for WA. They've owned field position for the majority of the first 6.5 minutes of this game. Trying to work his way through the traffic is Liddy. Hard in and under again. South Australia have worked this well. And the kick on the way out again, just falling short of the target. WA able to put it back in. Long kick towards full forward from South. Acrobatic work, a hold. And it's going to go WA's way. Everyone held their breath for a moment, but it'll be Amos who will get the free kick. And you've just wrapped up his accurate kicking for goal, Jordan. So
that's never a good sign, though. Usually when I do that, they end up missing it. So he's certainly within range here. I've seen him kicking from everywhere in the Colts this season. Jai Amos from Busselton and travels up to Perth every weekend to play footy with his Busselton teammate in James Tunstall.
So just the 12 games for those 49 goals as well. So he's been prolific up forward. Slow approach off the left boot. And he doesn't make a lie of it on this occasion, Jordan. Good start from WA. They've been physical around the footy and they've got the first goal of the game.
Yeah, they're just dominating the midfield battle at the moment and getting plenty of inside 50s. Early days, the WA side, and I think that's where they could get the better of South Australia. They've got some real dangerous tools up there. Amos, as I've mentioned a couple of times, and Jack Williams, who's second in the Colts goal kicking. He's a real talent. I think he's about 196, 197 centimetres, can play a variety of positions, but he's kicked about 30 goals in the Colts this year while doing some pinch hitting in the ruck. So that's probably where they could take advantage of the SA defence.
It's a little unusual, isn't it, for WA to have too much height and strength for opponents. Often we're renowned over here in the West for the speedy outside players. But this West Australian squad's got some size and some size around the footy here as well. You can see Matt Johnson just behind the umpire lined up against Horne-Francis. That'll be a good battle. Nice ruck work from Steen, winning it down for SA. Through comes WA's Tunstall, gets it out, and again, good combination of hands. McVee out wide, good kick, just set it up nicely for Josh Brown, the vice-captain of this squad. Finn Gorringe was named as captain. And Brown with a very short pass, finds Johnson. Some league footy for Subiaco early in the season. Settled back into Colts since then. Wants to come inside on the 45 degrees, finds Warner. Corey Warner, a brother of Chad, who's at the Sydney Swans, back into the lineup for the Swans today. Now Hagan, the youngster, towards full forward. Roving is Motlop, onto it in a flash, and he's spotted the open goal. And that's exactly what you can come to expect from young Motlop. And again, a good build-up from WA, and Motlop's been lively up forward, Jordan, in the first 8-9 minutes of this game.
Yeah, that's correct, Dave. If the talls don't get you up forward, the smalls will. That was really nice roving there from Jesse Motlop. I think it was Amos that made the contest of it. Inside 50, and Jesse Motlop did the rest. A real classy finish there from the Fremantle Next Generation Academy youngster.
It's an interesting little one-on-one, that one, isn't it? Motlop against O'Loughlin. Got a half-back line there of O'Loughlin and Burgoyne for South Australia.
And Motlop's actually good mates with Jace Burgoyne as well. Their dads are quite close, so it would have been interesting if those two were matching up on each other.
So we're back in the middle. We'll get our first look at Jordan Lukac in the ruck here for SA. Looks a good size here. Wins this tap down. Swooping on it again, though, for WA out of the middle. Tunstall. Long towards Williams. Got the hands up in front. Can't quite take it. Hand pass back inside. Opportunity to set something up, although a good tackle here by Burgoyne will force the stoppage about 45 out from the WA goal. Swooping on that ball there, Josh Brown. Williams in the ruck, wins it down. Roberts had it for a moment. Can't take it with him, though, and we might get another restart. Still inside the arc. The umpire just paused for a moment. Thought he might have been about to penalise WA, but decided for 50-50 ball instead. Lukac in the ruck, swats it out of the area, and South Australia can clear. Long kick for space by Kennedy. In towards the centre square, spinning his way into a tackle was Ferres, and they've coughed it up again, and WA have got the players set up behind the ball in Gorringe, who can spread it out wide and use it well. Johnson pokes it inside. McVee, time to wipe the hands on the back of the shorts before taking the mark, and again this 45-degree kick just opening up the field with some dash. It's Van Ruin. He's normally a good long kick. Stubbed his toe. In fact, it was Avery on that occasion. They still got it deep. Legs taken out from underneath him. Hoff, he'll get the free kick. Always a little unfortunate, you think, for the defenders there, desperate at the footy, but Hoff had the legs taken out, so directly in front he'll have a shot. WA looking for 3 inside the first 12 minutes of the game.
Brady Hoff, he's enjoyed a remarkable rise. He was playing country footy in the southwest this time last year. Actually snuck in a game a couple of weeks ago as well when Peel Thunder had the bye, but he's been outstanding in his debut season of Waffle Colts for Peel Thunder. Wins a lot of the footy and hits the scoreboard regularly as well.
One of a number of WA players nominated for the Combine this year. From directly in front, goal umpire does a little bit of work to the right, but it's a goal. And it's been a wonderful start from the home side here at Lathlain Park, Mineral Resources Park as it's known these days. WA with the first 3 goals of the game. And we really haven't seen South Australia put a meaningful ball inside forward 50 as yet.
Yeah, that's right. And Jason Horne-Ferentz has been pretty quiet so far. The pick one fancy, who's almost certainly going to end up at North Melbourne in the next couple of months in the national draft. Looks like Angus Sheldrick might have the job on him, so probably can't match him for size, but physicality-wise, Gus is one of those players who can certainly lay a tackle and win some contested footy.
We've got the chopper going over the top as well. Extra sound effects for us. Normally get to see a few planes landing in the background over the hills out here at Lathlain Park.
And great crowd as well. The grandstand here is packed with recruiters and managers and families.
Normally get a pretty good atmosphere here at Lathlain. Sheldrick with the clearance again. Out in front of Benning. Had it knocked away from him. Swooping through. Might have been taken high. It was Payton. No, the umpire said you took him on. Ducked your head, holding the ball. Free kick going the way of South Australia. They'll get a chance to set something up here through Arlo Draper. Again, happy to go short. Racing on the receiving end of that one. Kicking wide. Spoil made from WA. Warner doing the work there. Fends off one. Gives the hand pass away. This boy's been busy. Tunstall goes to ground this time though. All the work being done in a phone booth on the wing. So Lukak's kick was charged down, but South Australia do eventually get it towards half forward. Coming across to take the intercept mark is Rhett Bazzo. Some big raps on him as well, Jordan.
Yeah, one of 5 AFL Academy members for WA, and just takes so many intercept marks, reads the play really well.
Jed Hagan with the footy. Played state schoolboys for 3 years. Identified very early as a talented up-and-coming player. You mentioned pre-broadcast that he made the Waffle Team of the Year in the Colts last year as an underager.
Yeah, I think he was only 15 years old at the time, and yeah, he's just an outstanding young talent, Jed Hagan. Not draftable until next year, but I'm sure plenty of recruiters know all about him already.
Starting at half-back here today. Lukak with a good leap. Just hurting his finger there, Dittmar. Pulled up a bit short after contesting for that footy. Spoil made from Western Australia's Watson. Could be a chance for a free kick here, perhaps for South Australia. WA sliding on top of the football. Tackle applied by Stagg, but no free kick. Ball up instead. You're
right about Dittmar holding his right hand there, so hopefully nothing serious there. He's had a fair deal of bad luck on the injury front.
Saw the physio, Michael Newbound, dashing out. He wants to get to him as soon as he can, but the play too close. Sheldrick, strong body, pumping kick again, and that's a good grab from Benning. He looks a real athlete, gives the hand pass away to Payton. There's an open goal square here for WA to run into. The kick perhaps just favouring O'Loughlin instead, though. He'll be first to it. Under pressure from the big Amos, who worries him out of it. Wins possession, gets a hand pass back inside, searching for Regan. He's knocked over. Umpires watching closely that little contest, but we'll see a ball up. 25 out from the WA goal.
Nice leap there from Eric Benning, another member of Fremantle's Next Generation Academy. Plays his footy at Claremont and was one of the standouts in the recent trial games as well for the State 19s.
It's from Warren Gary. Can't tell you where that is. It's got to be up in the north, I think.
Yeah, he's a Kununurra lad. Yeah, moved down here for his final year of Colts footy and studying at UWA as well, so certainly kicking goals on and off the field. Eric Benning.
2 real athletes contesting that ruck there. Benning up against Lukak. Again, good forward pressure from WA. It comes back to Lukak. Needs to be good with his kick on the way out. In from the side, a good fist in there again from Avery. Prolific ball winner at WA AFL Colts level. Had a couple of touches early today. Again, WA just with weight of numbers. Hagan just a little tug on the arm there. No free kick, and South Australia away. Nicely done by Stagg, although the hand pass just let him down a little bit. Grubb under pressure. Stagg keeps working hard. Grubb got it out somehow. Umpire says play on. Kennedy pops it into the pocket, and that's nicely done here by the SA boys. And a chance for a shot on goal, the first of the game here for South Australia, Lucas Cook.
Probably their first mark inside 50 as well. They've really struggled to get the ball inside their forward arc. South Australia's been all WA to start this one.
You can kick goals from these pockets. They're quite deep, but no real breeze to speak of, and it's well protected by the West Coast Eagles change rooms, club rooms down there, but Cook hung that well out to the right and was never coming back. So out of bounds on the full, and Matty Johnson goes and retrieves the football. Got a great surface here at Lathlain Park, and perfect weather for some very talented youngsters to put on a show. Hagan's one of those, and he chips it short. Finds his teammate there in Tajwo Woden. Well, these Fremantle products combining. And now an opportunity for WA just to work this ball up the wing. Motlop has it again. Pokes a kick over the top, and WA pretty much unopposed here as they work it down. Brown taking that mark, and now a leap and a jump, and almost paid. Yes, the umpire's going to pay that one to Williams. They've got some real strength up forward, some tall timber that they jump early and they hover and hang and make it really tough for the SA defenders.
Yeah, he's a real athlete. Jack Williams comes from a bit of a basketball background as well. He's really strong overhead and got a great leap. I did mention him earlier in the week. He was, I think he's among the top 10 most accurate goal kickers as well. I think he's around, certainly over 50%, so well within range.
Another one of these East Fremantle products, such a strong breeding ground over many years here in WA. Jack Williams sends this one goalward, but it's narrow all the way and it'll only just scrape in for a behind. So WA doing all the scoring in this first quarter. 3-2, plays no score. As we mentioned off the top, no real breeze to speak of here today. No advantage either way. It's been all the West so far. Becker, a thumping kick back into play. From the contest, South. Kick was blocked. Chipper doing well, getting the hand pass back. Support coming from Bazzo. And again, they just seem to have that extra player around the contest, although that was shut down pretty quickly. A good tackle by Liddy forces a stoppage on the wing, and that will impress the South Australian coaching staff.
Yeah, that was an outstanding tackle there from Liddy. Probably need a bit more of it, SA. The WA runners are just getting too much space at the moment.
South winning in the ruck. Good collect from Kennedy down low. Put the hand pass out in front of Roberts, who fumbled. Now under a lot of pressure is Rayson, but the tackle was a bit high coming from Payton, and now 50. Just a little bit unnecessary there from Payton. Possibly a bit of frustration with his errant tackle. Now Lewis Rayson from Glenelg in South Australia. No one stands the mark, so he can run on. Kicks from 45. Has it got the carry? No, getting back and getting a finger to it. We've got Jacob Van Ruin in the nick of time. First score of the game for South Australia at the 19-minute mark.
In a different role this afternoon, Jacob Van Ruin. He's kicked 21 goals in 5 Colts games, so we know how talented he is up forward, but he's manning up on at centre-half back this afternoon.
Wanganeen Miller up with the kick, and that's a good mark. Horn Francis, a lot of eyes watching him closely. As you mentioned, expected to go with the first live pick of the draft. He kicks inboard, and it's good use of the football. And South Australia from the corridor, Morgan Ferrers with the chance to kick their first goal of the game.
Spoke with Horn Francis's South Adelaide coach yesterday, Jared Wright, and he combined him a bit of Nat Fyfe and a bit of Patrick Dangerfield. That overhead mark was certainly a bit of Fyfe about it, wasn't it?
If you could pick 2 players in the league to combine, they're not a bad pair.
Yeah, Brownlow medalist and a dual Brownlow medalist, not too bad.
So Ferrers, let's check out his accuracy in front of goal from Sturt. He's been nominated for the Combine as well, but he pushes this one to the left, and South Australia is still goalless in this first term as we wind down towards quarter time.
They've been better the last 4 or 5 minutes, haven't they, the visitors, but still yet to kick a goal.
Short pass on the way back in from Jack Avery. Does hit the target. It's Bazzo, who might have lost half of his boot there, just stomps his boot into the ground to reset. Tucked up in the left back pocket, off a step, long high kick. South has a good run and leap at this. Johnson flies against him, 2 teammates, and Johnson takes the mark. He's been a talent for quite some time, Matty Johnson. His dad was a very good cricketer back in the day. That mark there from Benning was dropped. Ball goes out the back door. Hand pass from Rayson down the line, and South Australia just keeping it in. Owens kicks into a dangerous position. Hagan read it well, took the bouncing footy, and happy to take a bit of physical contact from Manny Liddy, although the umpire said he didn't make any effort to get rid of it. Holding the ball a decision. Liddy, being one of South Australia's better players in this first quarter, kicks towards half forward and arriving to make that spoil. Van Ruin again. Just trying to play a school game for Churchlands a couple of years ago. We'll get a whistle here for a reset warning to WA. The anti-density rules in the state 19s again, Jordan. Just the umpire running across, giving the lasso move above his head to tell them they've got to have 5 players behind the centre line and a couple inside the arc.
There we go, you're onto it quicker than I was.
Well, I had to do the managing role for WA for a couple of years here, and that was always a panic. And Adam Jones, the talent manager, won't mind me that he used to scream down the phone, "Reset, reset." Used to get told off if there was a warning. Wasn't much I could do, Jonesy. You can only yell out at them. If they don't come back, they don't come back.
It's a thankless job, isn't it?
Free kick to WA at the top of the defensive goal square. And Bazzo has it once more. Played in the PSA for Guildford Grammar this year. Good kick towards South. Couldn't take the mark. Cleverly done by Johnson. He's done some nice things early today. Warner over the footy. Being hassled by Cade Kennedy. Ball in dispute again here at half forward. Arlo Draper can't get out of that pack. Mentioned off the top of the broadcast that WA have a number of players at the Combine. South Australia also well represented this year.
Yeah, 18 apiece, so it shows just how even these 2 states are.
Such a good opportunity for these 2 teams. You'd imagine it's hard to see Victorian, Metro and Country getting too many opportunities this year to put their talents on display at this level. The Allies likewise, so these boys getting their chance to show what they can do. Tunstall had a few important touches this quarter. Kicks towards the wing. Payton couldn't take that one, but follows up to apply some pressure. Hand pass from Adams didn't hit the target. Good strength showing again from Rayson. Support coming from Burgoyne. Now the highly regarded Matthew Roberts kicks short. Grubb made a good contest, follows up well. Hand pass away to Adams. And now there's a real opportunity for South Australia. Some space for Wanganeen Miller. Carries the footy. Hand pass to Horn Francis. Didn't even have a look, off a step. Bangs it long. It'll go right to the line. And again, WA have the numbers back to get the fist on the footy. And this time it goes out of bounds for a throw-in. Right forward pocket.
Great fist there. I think it was Rhett Bazzo. Didn't even want to concede it behind there. So really nice desperation.
WA by 18. At the throw-in, South takes front position. Working around him was Cook. South Australia with a quick shot towards goal from Kennedy. Won't get the distance, and Van Ruin, good judgment in the air. As you mentioned, noted as a forward through the early stages of his development, but he's adding that extra string to his bow now, playing in defence. He follow up and get this ball back. From the Claremont Footy Club. Kicks long to a contest. Roberts in good position. Spoiled by Draper, his teammate. Warner front and square. Hand passes it away. Dittmar. No problems with that finger anymore. Kicks towards half forward. One-on-one contest. Amos couldn't take the mark, but follows up well. And then Sockers inside 50. Close to the line. Motlop will arrive and put the pressure on. South Australia wanting a free kick there for some contact, but not forthcoming. And WA switching it from defence to attack very quickly.
Yeah, a couple of nice moments there for Van Ruin. Down back, that'll do his confidence the world of good in somewhat of a new role to him.
Siren about to say not too far away. The scoreboard clock here said 24 minutes and 50, but the siren went. Perhaps the scoreboard clock just starting a little bit late, but a very impressive first quarter from the home side. WA, the only goals of this first term, 3 goals to 2 behinds at quarter time. Goals to Amos, Motlop and Hoff, I should say. Hoff for WA, and South Australia yet to register their first goal. What'd you make of the first quarter, Jordan? It was pretty much all WA for the first 15 minutes before South Australia got a little bit back without hitting the scoreboard in the latter part of the quarter. Yeah,
it really was. They dominated the inside 50 count and the clearance count as well. WA, I really liked the work of a lot of their midfield, really. Gus Sheldrick and Cade Dittmar really set the tone inside. Matty Johnson's provided his usual class, and he's just got better as this quarter's gone on. Lockie Payton's done a few nice things across half forward. He had that bit of a brain fade late in that quarter, but other than that, it was a relatively good quarter from him. And up forward, it's been a nice spread of goal kickers so far. Jai Amos kicking the first one, and Jesse Motlop and Brady Hoff getting on the scoreboard as well. So far, so good for the home side, but no doubt South Australia will bounce back after quarter time. Yeah, impressive start from the Sandgropers. So break into their various line groups to have a chat amongst themselves as the assistant coaches come down. Mark Webb, the WA coach, taking over from Peter Sumich this year. Of course, a Waffle Premiership player and coach in his own right, and did a lot of development coaching and assistant coaching at Fremantle as well. So great to see him involved for Western Australia. And I think he's pretty highly regarded around the place as a very good development coach. So a very good man to have in charge of these youngsters. Yeah, definitely. He's just got such a well-rounded CV, Mark Webb, and he did a really good job at developing a lot of those kids through the Fremantle system and through their alignment at Peel Thunder as well. It's a pretty handy coaching staff as well, isn't it? I can see Bo McDonald down there has a lot to do with the forwards and the rucks. A couple of premierships at the Brisbane Lions for him, so he's part of the WA Footy Commission staff, and Adam Jones as well. He's done a fantastic job for a long time now, developing these WA kids and getting so many drafted across the last few years. We talked a little bit about their last carnival, the under-18s carnival a couple of years ago, and we said 17 players from that have played AFL, so it's just an unbelievable record. We saw Luke Jackson win the Rising Star the other night. His Melbourne teammate as well in Trent Rivers, Dev Robertson, Jeremy Sharp, Chad Warner, whose younger brother Corey's running around today. So it was a fantastic crop that year, and so we get a few more from both states this season as well.
And that year that WA won, which we're bragging that they're still the reigning champions, having not played a game for the last couple of years, South Australia beat WA at Optus Stadium. It was a great opportunity to play a curtain raiser before an AFL game at the Premier Stadium here in WA, and potentially the home of the AFL Grand Final in a couple of weeks as well. But South Australia were outstanding on that day, and I remember particularly young Will Day, who's gone on to make a bit of a name for himself for Hawthorn over the past couple of years since being drafted. He was outstanding. There wasn't much of him, and I don't think there's much of him still. Probably about 45 kilos on that day, but just floating across half-back, as we've now become accustomed to him doing for Hawthorn as well. He was quite brilliant, and South Australia came across and surprised WA after the West had started with a game here against Vic Metro, where they took on the Rowell and Anderson combination and actually showed them up. I remember Dev Robertson at quarter time having a few words to say to Matt Rowell after Dev, I think, had about 12 possessions and 6 tackles in the first quarter.
Yeah, Chad Warner had a good day on. Spent a fair bit of time going head-to-head with Rowell, so exciting seeing these kids develop from national under-18s and under-18s Colts level to becoming rising stars of the AFL competition as well. So plenty more to come this season, no doubt.
Tony Bamford is the South Australian coach. He's been doing this job for quite some time as well for South Australia, and has a very strong football background for SA. What do you reckon South Australia needs to do in this second quarter that's upcoming to get themselves right back into the contest? We did mention that they've at least levelled the flow of play in the last few minutes before the break. We've only seen 1 or 2 genuine shots on goal, and probably only in the last 5 minutes did they really have any meaningful forward 50 entries. Yeah,
I felt like they certainly did improve the last 5 minutes of that opening term. We saw Horn Francis slowly warm into the contest. He was pretty quiet to start with, but he certainly made his presence felt in those last 5 or so minutes. So, yeah, I just think they need to start winning those contests inside. We need to see Horn Francis, Matt Roberts, Liddy just win that little bit more of the footy. They certainly improved late, and no doubt they'll keep warming into the contest. I don't think there's a great deal of breeze to speak of, so we can't blame that at this stage. But they're a talented side, South Australia, and no doubt they'll warm into this contest.
Very proud footballing state, South Australia. They've done very well at this level. I think they were the state that won the championships previous to WA, and that was the year of Rankin and Lukosius, Connor Rosie, and I do remember South Australia giving WA a real toweling up at Alberton in that season, and Lukosius and Rankin, they showed on that day just how good they were going to become, and we've seen that for the Gold Coast as well. So Horn Francis is the one who's got the big raps. Expected, I said during the call, is going for the first live draft pick. Of course, young Dacos has declared during the week that he is going to go to Collingwood under the father-son rule. So we probably expect that North Melbourne, with that first draft pick, will probably make a bid just to force Collingwood to take him straight up, and then Horn Francis goes to North Melbourne after that. Yeah, that's right. And then the other father-son to look out for is Sam Jarcy. So, yeah, there's a couple of nice father-son picks. Do you bid on both of them just to stir up the other clubs? Yeah, I don't see why not. So, a lot of strategy in the draft as well these days with the live trading as well. It's amazing from a South Australian point of view. They could have 3 South Adelaide kids go in the first round and potentially be the first 3 South Australian kids called out. We've spoken a lot about Horn Francis already, but Matt Roberts has played quite a bit of senior footy this season for the Panthers as well, and Arlo Draper as well. Yeah, all 3 of them played in the same senior game probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. So, yeah, fantastic job by Jared Wright, the senior coach at South Adelaide there, and the development staff at the Panthers. Bryce Gibbs has gone back there, I think, to play his footy after retiring from AFL, and they've got a very strong women's program at South Adelaide as well. So it's a club that's developing very well, and one of the stronger ones, Glenelg, I think, are undefeated in the SANFL as well. So there's a few Glenelg Tigers out here today in the under-19s for South Australia too. Yeah, they look like they might get a few drafted this year, so it could be a fruitful year for SA, especially at the top end of the draft. And this is the advantage WA and SA have at the moment, giving these boys a chance to show all the recruiters here today and watching on the live stream just what they can do, while other parts of Australia, unfortunately, are involved in lockdowns, which will prevent a lot of their young players just showing their talents. Hopefully conditions improve across the rest of Australia shortly so that these matches can be played. So we're about to get underway in the second quarter. WA leading by 3 goals at the first change. They'll be attacking the right-hand side of your screen, which is the end that the West Coast Eagles' home facilities are based here at Lathlain Park, Mineral Resources Park, and it's South in the ruck, winning again. Not coming out of there too quickly. Tackle applied quickly on Josh Brown, and we'll see another ball up. Oscar Steen doing the ruck work for South Australia, just nudged out of it by South, who thumps it long. Seen him do that on a couple of occasions already today. Scrappy football at half forward. Burgoyne about to be caught by Motlop. Hits the hand pass away. Liddy sharing it with his teammate there in Beacon. And now off to Wanganeen Miller, and that's a beautiful pass. Nice chip pass to the wing. Mark taken but turned over there by Hugh Stagg. And now Regan for WA. Kicks long towards full forward. Good attack on the footy in the air by Jai Amos. The kick was outstanding from Regan, gave him every opportunity, but initially, Jordan, when I looked down, I thought he was caught behind Amos, but he accelerated and just got his way in front to take the mark.
That was outstanding. He's got that real explosive speed on the lead, Jai Amos. Really nice set of hands as well. Good connection between the East Perth teammates, Ethan Regan and Jai Amos. So he's going for his second goal of the game here. He kicked the first of the day.
Young boy from Bustleton, good part of the world. Jai Amos has this slow, deliberate approach, a little stutter in the run-up, sends it goalward, hangs it high, it'll land right on the line, won't have the carry in the end, and the Crow Eaters good enough to work it through for a rush behind. WA with the first score of quarter number 2. South Australia want to bring it in quickly in a long kick towards the wing. Van Ruin providing some protection, and it's illegal according to the umpire. South took the mark, but the umpire was on to the shepherd, applied by Van Ruin. And South Australia's free kick going the way of Ferris. Uses it well. Finds Liddy. Sells a bit of candy and then sends it long towards the pocket. That kick not well directed. Had Lukac on the lead, but didn't hit him up. And the mark was taken by Avery. That kick's gone wide. Diving in Regan. He takes the mark over the line. So Beacon will get the free kick. Comes inside. Hits up Roberts. No, not Roberts. It is Liddy again. Liddy wants to go short. Just measured the pass perfectly, and Ferrers again presenting nicely. Goes a little longer this time. Spoil made by Bazzo. Brings it to ground. Hagan with a good tackle. Dittmar wrestles his way free. Untidy looking kick, but it worked nicely. South being used on the way out. Puts it out in front of Benning. Nice collect, and then a clever kick. Although it goes to a 1-on-2. Regan's going to have to work hard here. Opponent goes to ground, and Regan can't quite keep it in, but WA have done well to work it from deep in their defence to half forward.
He's been busy in the second quarter, Ethan Regan, part of West Coast's Next Generation Academy. I've really liked the way he's developed this year. He's played that sort of third tall forward at the Royals, and to see him back on the park as well. He had some ankle issues last year when he was playing PSA for Trinity.
Free kick picked out in the ruck, going the way of Oscar Steen for a push in the back. Gives the hand pass away to the runner cruising by in Beacon, and he's turned it over, and WA is set up very well behind the ball. We've seen a number of turnovers from South Australian defenders as they look to emerge from defensive 50. Bazzo with hands on the footy. Johnson wanted the hand pass on the way past, and that's going to be 50. South Australian player wandering off the mark. That was Isaiah Dudley. The stand rule is implemented in this game, and Dudley, anticipating the hand pass to Johnson, just worked his way off the mark, and as a result, Rhett Bazzo will get a chance to have a look at his goal kicking.
He's played a little bit as a key forward, Rhett Bazzo. He's kicked a few bags of goals for Guildford Grammar. I think 6 might be his best effort, along with a couple of bags of 3 and 4 for Swan District. So he's certainly no mug up forward.
Another one of these 18 Sandgropers heading off to the Combine later this year. Slow approach as well, and he's tugged it well to the left. Didn't really look too confident in his approach on that occasion. So
he did kick that one like a defender.
He did.
He's been good today. He's read the ball really well and won some important one-on-one contests as well.
Nice long kick into play from Cook, but it's going to come straight back, and the kick turning over on the way back in from Sheldrick. And they'll get a second opportunity. Zach Becker, in fact, rather than Cook. Becker again kicks for distance. Cook is the target this time. In from the side, Bazzo. Got hands to the footy. Would have liked to have taken that one. Roving is Jackson. Arlo Draper. Out the back door to Dudley. Wants to put the moves on and gets away from a couple of West Australians. And then time for a bounce. Hand passes away. All this under pressure though. Kennedy's hand pass is coughed up. Dudley comes a second time, but Benning's too clever on this occasion. Hand pass to Johnson. He's got Sheldrick forward of the play. Can run and carry and kick with the left. It's an awful looking kick off the boot, but it wobbles straight. Did that hit the post between the goal umpire's legs? I think it might have. Goal umpire wants to have a chat with the field umpire. He was straddling the goal line with the goalpost pad right up against his back. And I reckon he's going to call the boundary umpire in for a chat as well. How will the umpire see this? He's going to pay a behind for hitting the post. I think they've come up with the right decision there, Jordan.
Yeah, I think so. I think I saw it slam into that left-hand part of the post.
It was a poor kick back into play, though. And Payton chips short. Can't quite get it to Williams. Diving in is Motlop. Feeds it out towards Williams again. Spun in the tackle. Hands it away. Payton's wrapped up quickly in a fierce tackle. We'll get another ball up in the forward pocket, but
a few danger signs for South Australia, isn't there? Just their kicking out of defence needs to be shored up that little bit. They're turning it over. Hasn't cost them a goal yet this quarter, but feels like it's only a matter of time.
Roving that ruck work was racing, but again the kick can't clear defensive 50. WA send it back inside. Trying to take on the tackler. He's caught in a couple of tackles is Roberts. And it was a long time coming, that whistle, but holding the ball is the correct decision. And Dittmar is the man who will take the free kick, and he is always up for a bit of physical action.
Yeah, he's an absolute bull, Cade Dittmar, from Augusta Margaret River Footy Club, so the same club as Ben Stratton. He plays his game that little bit like Elliot Yeo. He attacks the contest hard, and yeah, he's a great young player, Cade Dittmar. Easy to spot as well with the peroxide blonde mullet.
Got the hairdo of a guy from Augusta Margaret River. And the kick is pretty good. Well, they deserve that goal. The first 7 minutes, they've totally owned the football, WA. Probably left a couple of goals out there as well, but they've stretched this lead. And you mentioned before, Jordan, there's some real danger signs for South Australia. We've seen it for the first half of the first quarter and the early part of this quarter. They just can't get out of defence. The WA forwards are alert to everything. They've got their zone set up nicely, and they're on to any half-loose kick footy. Yeah, they're really well set up behind the ball, and their pressure's been outstanding as well. They're barely giving the SA ball carriers an inch here, so outstanding defensive work from the West Aussies, and they've had the first 4 scoring shots of this quarter. Finally got a goal, but no doubt they are dominating this contest. 3 of their 4 goals have come through free kicks. That one was certainly earned by Dittmar with a strong tackle. Matt Roberts wanted to take them on, perhaps realising that the kicks out of defence weren't working, so a bit of run and carry. Lukac into the ruck. Like his athletic leap, but here's Dittmar giving it back to South towards half forward. Ball beats all players. Out the back is Rayson. Wants the runner to support, and they get a bit of run. Chance here again for Liddy to go short to Draper. This is better use of the football. Ferres, who's presented well from half forward, takes another mark. Kicks out wide. Again, not quite hitting the target, and that puts them under pressure. Good chase from Gorringe, but the hand pass was okay. Nice footwork from Wanganeen Millerat. Got nowhere to go. He's just about run the 15 steps there, all in the space of about 4 metres. He's found Ferres with his kick. And there's plenty of Crow Eaters that are queued up. Here's Burgoyne towards the pocket. Again, doesn't give the forwards too much chance, but nice roving and a snap-on goal for South Australia, but just missing from Hugh Jackson. And a minor score for the Crow Eaters. Love the foot skills there from Wanganeen Millerat. He's known for his dash on the outside, but he's certainly got some silky foot skills as well. I reckon he'd be known for the dance floor work as well, looking at that. Kick back into play is outstanding. McVie takes the mark, quick hand pass. Releases Brown. He puts it out in front of Sheldrick. Kicks with the left. Got a shove as he kicked. And as a result, is it going to come back? I think it is. Initially, the umpire looked like he was running forward to relay that free kick, but it will come back. Really enjoyed watching Gus Sheldrick's progress. He's been one of the dominant midfielders in the PSA competition with Christchurch. Captain their side this year. Very strong body as he pokes his kick in the air, and that's a nice mark, just floating in. Well judged there by Max Litster. Short pass, Sheldrick standing in the way. Spoil was made by Lukac. And here's Van Ruin just coming up from half-back to help out. Hand pass to Woden, turns it over. Lukac in the opposite direction. Hand passes it away, gets it to Cook. And now South Australia through Jackson, who just kicked that last behind. Hits up his target. There'll be 50. As the WA player has run through the protected area, it was a very quick whistle, and the free kick goes against Brown, a 50-metre penalty, I should say. And this is South Australia's best opportunity to kick a goal in this match so far, and it'll come from Hugh Stagg.
Yeah, they certainly need this one, the Croatians. 4 goals, 5-29 WA to just the 3 behinds for South Australia. They haven't really had a great deal of inside 50s to start this one.
So Hugh Stagg from Glenelg to give South Australia their first goal of the game. He's made hard work of it, but he snuck it in. 10 minutes into the second quarter, we've seen the first goal of the game for South Australia. And hopefully that will give them a bit of a spark to stay in this contest, because it was looking a little bit like WA were ready to break away with it. Their lead is still 20 points. As we're going to get a warning against both sides from the umpire for the anti-density. So that means, I think, if it happens again, Jordan, this quarter, there's a free kick paid. So both teams' benches will be on notice now.
Are you happy you're up here and not doing the team managing duties this year? Save yourself a couple of sprays.
Yeah, I'd be getting the voice ready to scream out at every stoppage now.
Did you give away a few free kicks back in the day?
I don't think we ever got to a free kick position, but yeah, you're always a little bit nervous once you have that warning, and you're more nervous at the next break when Jonesy would come down and have a word. Sometimes Summer as coach as well. So we're back in the middle. Benning and Lukac going at it. Coming out of there again for South Australia was Liddy, and that's a good mark. Taken by Owens. They're moving the ball quickly this time, South Australia. Towards full forward. Van Ruin with the spoil. Did it nicely, and the goal kicker in Stagg just watches it go over the line. But a little bit more slick there from South Australia out of the middle. Yeah,
absolutely. I think Liddy's had a pretty good quarter so far. He started the game fairly quietly, but won a fair bit of the footy in the last 10 minutes.
231s to do the ruck work. Lucas Cook from behind Benning. They're both happy to work it to the front. Horn Francis with a little hand pass out. Searching for Roberts. He's over the footy. They get it out again. Quick kick inside. Can they hit a target? No, Woden is there. And Taj Woden takes the mark. Wants to move it on quickly. Has Regan on the lead. It doesn't quite get that far. It's been marked by Watson instead. Now he kicks on the bounce to Motlop, who overruns the footy. South Australia through Roberts. Thumping left foot kick. Gets it towards half forward. Big 2-on-1 contest in the air. It's an ambitious play from Avery, but he's strong enough to get away. Watson, little bouncing kick. Roberts in the opposite direction again. Hand pass over the top to Horn Francis. Chips inside. Gets it to his teammate. Wants it back. Won't get it. Liddy. Called to play on now as he's wandered off the mark. Benning wasn't alert to that, and he allows him to cruise away. Little chip pass. Again, mark not taken. Roving done by McVie. And his kick just a little bit too tall for the target on the way back out. Stretching was Hoff. He couldn't take it, but he does now. Steals the footy away. Pokes the kick to half forward. It lands in between two pairs of players. Good tackle applied by Motlop. Sheldrick charges in, but South Australia stand up to it well. Jackson, quick hand pass, releases Beacon. And his kick towards the wing is well measured. And South Australia have the mark through Kennedy. Wants to switch play. It's a good option. Opens the field up nicely. Isaac Burt with the footy. He's got Horn Francis running hard for him at half forward. Thought about the hand pass on the way past. Instead he pokes a kick. Ferrez, is he strong enough? Not quite. Roving done, and a good piece of work again there by Grubb. Gets it deep forward. Van Ruin gets back, and that's a well-judged mark. Promising build-up from South Australia, snuffed out by Van Ruin. And this kick could give Benning a chance to run. We wouldn't mind seeing him go for a bit of a dash here, Jordan.
I haven't seen him go for a run, Eric Benning, but he's certainly got the athletic traits to do so.
He wants this ball back as he comes past. Lukac was watching him closely, though, and shut that option down. So Payton's kick to Hoff. Between the interchange gates. Kicks to Dittmar. Good contest in the air. Pressure applied by Kennedy. And then the clearing kick coming from Becker, but it's all WA behind the footy. Van Ruin looked inside, had a couple on, but decided not to pull the trigger. Goes wide to Hoff instead. Brady Hoff from Harvey Brunswick, Legendol. Down the southwest. Finding Chipper, and now it's WA's turn to look to switch. McVie sends it further wide to the skipper, Finn Gorringe. What can you tell us about Finn?
He's no relation to Daniel, for those wondering, but he played a lot of league footy this year, and obviously captain of WA today as well. So outstanding young talent, really courageous as well. I remember him taking this courageous mark that reminded me of Nick Rewalt's grab for St Kilda. So plenty of talent there, and a real leader as well.
Yeah, named captain during the week. And there's a little misstep with the hand pass. Johnson for WA. Can he hit a target on the way towards attacking 50? He certainly can. And it looks like all you need to do is put it out in front of young Amos, and he'll make it good no matter what. He ran onto that one with some real determination, and he's marked directly in front. Now, he couldn't make the distance from just inside 50 before, so he hands this one off. Tajwo Woden with a bit of run towards centre half forward, all the way to full forward. The only man back there is Motlop, and he had a couple to beat. And a behind scored for the West.
He's taken a few nice grabs inside 50. Jai Amos, he hasn't really been part of the state setup over the years, but just sheer weight of numbers this year, like I mentioned earlier, 49 goals, 12 in the Colts, so he's putting together an outstanding season and really bolting up the draft calculations.
Good mark here by Becker, draws the man and hand passes over the top to Wanganeen Millera. Nice flash boots on. A couple of bounces, nearly lost the footy. Steadies and kicks to a contest, and that's a beautiful mark in from the side. We've seen Bazzo do that 2 or 3 times in this first half.
Really like the way Bazzo and Van Ruin have combined down back. They've taken heaps of intercept marks now and won some really good one-on-one contests as well. So
that's a very good mark from Amos. He was outnumbered if that ball hit the deck. Again, keen to give the hand pass off early. Brown with the kick towards half forward. Williams arriving late, chopped the arms, and the free kick will go the way of Roberts, who's coming into the game in the second quarter. Spreads the ball wide, looking for Burgoyne. Motlop watching him closely. Front on contact, or a mark in fact paid to the son of Peter. And Jace Burgoyne. South Australia, they often like the switch. And this is a short pass to Adams. And now a player in a bit of space in Rayson can take the mark. Again, the runner coming from behind. Litster. Short pass and he'll get it back again, Litster. Kicks down the line. Cook. Comes inside. And this is promising. South Australia have been able to do this more in the second quarter. Draper's kick, though, is intercepted. Johnson getting in the way. Here's Warner with the left boot. Stabs it in short. Regan drops the mark he should have taken and then recovers well. Sends the players in the wrong direction with a feigned hand pass, and Warner will get the ball back again. The left footer towards full forward. Motlop lurking at the back. Williams in the contest as well. They stood up to it well. And it's O'Loughlin who's able to clear. And South Australia again through Roberts. I made mention he's a likely type, and he's had a very good second term, Jordan.
Yeah, Roberts and Liddy have certainly been busy, and big reason behind their recent purple patch, the South Australians, but they just need to start capitalising on the scoreboard late in this opening half.
They've at least managed to level things up in this quarter. Grubb from outside 50 will get it all the way to the goal line. Bazzo wants to take the mark, and he's not paid. It's socket off the deck, but it might have been over the line already before Lukac could get his boot to it. So a behind for South Australia. Interesting there for Bazzo. He was right on the last line of defence, looking to outmark his opponent from behind. Certainly got some confidence in his marking ability. There's a big fist from Litster. But Dittmar's in the right spot again for WA. Turning it over on this occasion. Burgoyne with the mark. They'll come inside. Horn Francis. Short pass into the centre of the ground. On the lead, Kennedy. Again, this switch is working nicely for them. Burt. Looks like he's a pretty good user of the football with that left boot towards Lukac, who's forced to spoil from behind this time. Hagan with the hand pass to Avery. Chips it out in front of Gorringe. Just marking in front of the scoreboard. Short pass to Bazzo, and this time it'll be WA looking to go from left back pocket to right back pocket. Good kick. Finds Chipper. Now Johnson, again turning it over. Good spoil and following up with a mark, and that will be 50. Just a bit of a brain fade from Peyton there, because the only man to get his hands on the football there was Matt Roberts. I'm not sure what Peyton's arguing about here, because Roberts made the spoil and then took the mark.
Yeah, a little bit of a brain fade there. Unfortunately, it's going to cost them a set shot at goal and potentially South Australia's second goal of this quarter.
So Matty Roberts from the Panthers, been one of the best players in the second quarter to bring South Australia back to within 14 points. Haven't been that close since about the 10-minute mark of the first quarter. Another one of these left footers. Looks good off the boot. Goal umpire doesn't move. South Australia with 2-1 in this term. They've kicked the last 2 of the game. And they've levelled up the contest and they're chipping away on the scoreboard now, Jordan.
He could not have split the middle any more perfect that time. Matt Roberts. Such a smart footballer, isn't he? And probably one of South Australia's best in this second quarter as they kick back-to-back goals.
Both
just 14 points in it now.
Both of the goals coming from 50s, but they were both there. WA with 3 of their 4 goals from free kicks, so the umpires having a say in this game, but they've done a good job, the umpires.
There's plenty of 50s, but there's no real debatable ones, is there?
No.
They've all been there. More player error than umpire error, that's for sure.
Inside the last 5 minutes of this first half here at Mineral Resources Park in Lathlain. Perfect conditions for footy and a great venue for the NAB under-19s to kick off for these 2 states this year. South will do the ruck work opposed to Steen. Dittmar immediately tackled by Draper, and we'll see a ball up. Good crowd in as well. Lots of parents and friends watching. Number of interested onlookers as well as all the talent scouts that are based in WA. WA go inside 50 again. We'll see another stoppage about 5 metres inside the arc. Some parochial work from the ground staff during the week as well, with the black and gold 50-metre arcs being drawn on the ground.
I like it.
Normally the red and black here at Lathlain for the Perth Demons. Draper gets the clearance here for South Australia. Put it out wide. Chasing it hard is Litster. He's able to get it further afield. Nice use of the body there by Dudley. Couldn't take the mark. Comes back inside with his hand pass. Connecting with Liddy. They come inside to Burgoyne. Carries for a moment and then chips it nicely. Ferrers has been a dangerous forward for South Australia. Called to play on. And he's charged down. Nicely done there from Hagan. He was alert. And now Dittmar with the kick. Puts it out wide. Sets Regan a bit of a task and he can't get there. Boundary throw in on the centre wing out of sight of Lathlain Park.
Been really impressed with Morgan Ferrers. He's presented really well across half forward when it's gone down there.
Definitely been their best target up forward. Doing most of his work, as you say, across half forward. Just outside range of shooting for goal. Good body work from South. Got rid of his opponent. Win clean possession and then kicks in the direction of the forward in Amos. Up against the boundary with the left boot. Sends a goal and it's swinging back. What a goal from Amos. It looked as though his confidence had just taken a bit of a hit earlier this quarter when he couldn't make the distance from just inside 50 on a set shot. He's handed a couple off since then, but no lack of confidence there from the boundary 45 out, Jordan. That's the goal of the day.
That was outstanding there from Jai Amos, his second of the afternoon, and that will do his confidence the world of good there. He's taken some nice marks inside 50, but that's the first time he's really got onto one on the run. So outstanding work there from the East Perth youngster.
Yeah, brilliant goal. His second, first multiple goal kicker in this match.
There's been a lot of discussion about where he'll go in the draft. Performances like this certainly put his name in lights this afternoon.
You mentioned he's been a bit of a late developer, hasn't come through the programs until this year, really?
No, it hasn't really been part of the State Talent Academy until this year, but it's just enjoyed a real breakout season. He's kicked multiple goals in every game he's played, whether it's State 19s trials, Waffle Colts, and now the National Under-19s Carnival.
Liddy gets the clearance for South Australia this time, puts them deep inside 50. Chasing hard, Grubb, can't take possession. Woden over the football. Umpire watched that one closely and decides to ball it up. Some calls for pushing the back as Woden was buried in the ground in the end. South with the ruck win again. Roberts with a thumping kick on the turn. It's going to just about clear the pack, get to the goal line, and luckily Bazzo is able to knock it through from behind, but that carried about 55 or 60 on the fly.
Almost caught them by surprise there. Lucky Red Bazzo was on the goal line to save that one. Hasn't he been outstanding this afternoon?
He locked his marking work and now the kick back in. South with a big spoil. Knocks it over the boundary for a throw in. Just 30 seconds to go in this first half.
Jake South won the ruck battle so far, hasn't he? He's that real athleticism around the ground, and gives his midfielders first use as well. The Subiaco Premiership Colt from last season.
One of the 19-year-olds out there for WA today. He'll be beaten this time. Steen winning that one down. South Australia perhaps with a late chance to score. Ball in the hands of Owens, who'll get them inside 50, but not well directed. Woden takes the mark as the siren sounds. And it's WA by 19 points at the half, after they led by 18 points at quarter time. 5-6, playing 2-5. 2 goals to Amos, 1 to Motlop, 1 to Hoff, and 1 to Dittmar for the Sandgropers, while for South Australia, their goals off the boots of Stagg and Roberts, both coming in the second quarter after they were goalless at quarter time. A pretty even turn in the end, Jordan. WA dominated those first 7 or 8 minutes, only really got the 1 goal out of all their hard work in that time, and then South Australia managed to get themselves right back into it before that brilliant goal from Amos. Yeah, it was almost a quarter of 2 halves, wasn't it? WA continued their domination in that first part of it, but you could only get a couple of goals for all their dominance and a few minor scores, but South Australia certainly came back hard. They got a couple of lucky breaks, I guess. 1 goal from a 50-metre penalty, or both from 50-metre penalties. So they made the most of their opportunities there. The likes of Roberts, I thought he really improved in that second quarter. Liddy and Perez has always spoken about across half forward. So certainly a much improved quarter there from South Australia, and only a 19-point margin as well. So plenty still to play out in the second half. So WA by 19 points at half-time in this NAB AFL Under-19 Championships game at Mineral Resources Park in Lathlain here in Western Australia. The sun breaking through for the first time today. Perfect conditions for the two sides. And we've got a good contest on our hands at half-time. Great to see these players get the opportunity. We didn't know if it would be possible at all this year, but with the change in the border between WA and South Australia earlier this week, some quick moves from the WA Footy Commission and the SANFL as well to get this game underway, and it's been very enjoyable to watch the young lads put their talents on display. WA by 19 points at half-time. We'll take a quick break from the broadcast and be back in time for the third quarter. Welcome back to Mineral Resources Park. It's half-time in the NAB AFL Under-19 Championships match between Western Australia and South Australia. WA leading by 19 points as the two sides are back out there going through their warm-ups before the start of the third quarter. Dave Lindsay and Jordan McArdle, your commentary team. And we're looking forward to this second half. Jordan, can South Australia get themselves back in touch here with WA? They're only down by just over 3 goals, but the way the game has gone, the Sandgropers seem to have been in complete control for most of the game.
Yeah, I think they certainly can. They've been good in patches. They just need to sustain it for that little bit longer. We've seen them in 5-10 minute bursts play some really good footy when the likes of Roberts and Liddy get a hold of the footy and win the clearances. We've mentioned Ferrers across half forward as well, and some of their outside runners have been good in patches. We saw a couple of nice moments there from Wanganeen Millera on the outside, and Burgoyne as well has done a few nice things. So been good in patches, but certainly if they can put it together that little bit more consistently, they'll test the West Aussies in this second half. It's been pretty quiet today, hasn't he? The pick one fancy in Jason Horne-Francis.
Yeah.
He'll be one player that South Australia will really need to lift in this second half. He's been really well held. WA have got a couple of those real strong-bodied midfielders themselves in Sheldrick and Dittmar, who have done a pretty good job in there. It was a little bit concerning when Neil Erasmus went down during the week. We guess thought that they might not have that depth, but they've certainly shown that they bat pretty deep in the midfield. WA, Josh Brown's done some good things in there. Sheldrick and Dittmar, as I mentioned earlier, and the late inclusion in Max Chippers found a little bit of the footy. And Matty Johnson as well, he just provides that class in the midfield. He's got a bit of Adam Cherra about him, the way he executes his kicks heading inside 50.
So we're underway here in the third quarter. Flat 25-minute terms in the NAB AFL Under-19 Championships. And South, who's enjoyed a bit of ruck dominance today, wins the first tap. Pressure applied by Dittmar. The ball jars free, and South Australia should go forward first. Owens sends them to centre half forward. A little nudge, clever use of the side of the body by Dudley. Gets it out the back to Wanganeen Miller, who drills it towards full forward. Lukac was the target, couldn't hit him. Over the top, nicely done by Avery, who swats it into some space. And Hagan runs on the loose footy. Allows himself to be tackled and then gives the hand pass away to Sheldrick. Pops a hand pass up himself and then collects his own footy. Nice little sidestep there from Warner. And a chance again for Hagan, who chips it in to some space for Dittmar to run onto. Fights on well. Good shepherd coming from Hoff. And then Dittmar just turning over the kick. Getting in front was Litster. Good fight for the footy in here as well from Lockie Payton. And we'll get a ball up now, just short of left half forward. Nice
moment there from Jed Hagan, who's a rare double act this year. He's played in the 17s Carnival, now he's playing in the 19s Carnival, both games against South Australia.
It's extremely rare for that to happen, particularly WA. They don't tend to like their players of that age playing up before they're required to.
But we nearly had a second today as well in Jed Buslinger from East Perth, but he was just named one of the emergencies instead.
He's a very talented sports person, quite a good cricketer as well. That's a nice smother and follow-up from Burgoyne. The kick again, just letting himself down. He goes to soccer at the next opportunity. Head over the football, Roberts. Collected, no free kick, and now he's on top of the ball. The umpire decides to call it a draw. I do like the way that Matty Roberts attacks that footy. And he had a good second term, warming into this game nicely. He's one-on-one at this contest with Dittmar, which is a nice even matchup. Free kick for a hold in the ruck, and South has posed some real problems for anyone he's gone up against in the ruck. This time his kick is well measured. And arriving late, Regan takes the mark on the wing, pokes it over the top for Johnson to run onto the footy. Got a lead coming towards the back here from Amos. He goes in that direction long, and Amos has got the leap and the sit, but in from the side, almost taking the mark for South Australia. Great effort down there from Litster once more. He's done some nice things this afternoon. And the ball rushed through for behind. First score of this third quarter going the way of WA. The Black Swan on the goal jumper for the Sandgropers as Becker runs his full measure and then kicks towards the wing. Gorringe got a piece of it. Sheldrick tackled. How did he get rid of that? The umpire said a little hand pass. Van Ruin, good collect and evasive work, and then poking a kick inside on the right to South. I like the way how South presents on the way out as well. A defence is not just a one-trick pony as a ruck.
He's been outstanding today. I've liked his progress in the Colts, and he's been playing a bit of resis for Subiaco as well. So he's certainly done his chances no harm today and shown recruiters what he's capable of in the ruck.
Now Watson's put it out in front of Amos up against the boundary. Clever hand pass down the line. Did Motlop keep it in? No, the umpire calls it back, and I tell you what, that bouncing shot on goal was on target. There was a Crow eater right on the line who had it covered down there in Beacon. But it's exciting, Motlop.
Bit of Caleb Sarong about that kick there from the Derby a few weeks ago, and looked like it was going out of bounds. It probably did go out of bounds.
So toss back in. The umpire's coming in that 10 metres from the boundary, so the throw-in lands at a very dangerous spot if you're a South Australian defender, but they've handled it well. Good presentation again from Ferrers. Couldn't take the mark this time. The kick back inside by Tunstall towards full forward. Off hands. South Australia still under pressure in defence, but Becker does well. Kick just a little bit too strong for Roberts. South cuts across in front of him. Woden is there. Roberts tackles him quickly, and he forces another stoppage front end of the centre square.
Feels like there's two number 40 jerseys out there for WA at the moment. Jack South is just everywhere. He is dominating this contest.
Just nudged out of this one. Good ruck work from Steen. Free kick for holding the ball. Tough call there on Gus Sheldrick. Argues with the umpire that he got a hand pass away, but Steen is paid the free kick. Gives the hand pass off, and South Australia through Beacon. Poker kick out wide. Wanganeen Miller down the line with his kick. Quick acceptance of the ball from Grubb, and then he was into motion towards the forward pocket. Nicely done there, deep in defence by Jack Avery. Just a little nudge, and then the strong fist to the boundary.
Great ball there from Jack Avery. He's averaging, no one's got as many possessions as him in the Waffle Colts competition, averaging 34, playing as that intercept marking defender, and more recently been playing some senior footy at the Demons, so playing at his home turf.
Yeah, he's playing one out in the goal square at the moment, so not able to play that intercept role just yet when you're one out in the cage, but he's covered his opponent well so far today. Another ball up. South will ruck this time against Lukac, who's got a good leap on him. Taps it into the path of a teammate in Grubb, but he couldn't find any space. Hagan wore him closely. And another ball up, just near the blue dot that they draw on the ground now for the man on the mark for the kick out from goal. 25 out from goal. Lukac will leap at this one. Beats South again. Same play. Grubb over the footy. Tackled by Hagan. Umpire watches on. And this time he's going to penalise him. It was clever work from Hagan there. I reckon he dragged it in underneath Grubb. The umpire said that Grubb didn't do enough to get it out. So Hagan with the free kick at fullback for the West.
He's a smart footballer, Jed Hagan. And he's really started the second half well. He's had a couple of nice moments already.
I'd like to know how many miles his parents have driven up and down the west coast from Geraldton to Perth and back again. Now, 50-metre penalty will be paid here, and that really came from Gorringe just demanding it from the umpire. He was quite slow with the call, but he's paid 50, the ball knocked out of his hands. So Gorringe towards the pocket. Regan, little nudge in the back. Umpire calls play on. Lathlain gives a hand pass away to Beacon. On the way back out, he kicks, but Van Ruin gets in the way, almost taking the mark, leaves it there for Woden to collect. Hand pass back to Regan. Could have given it back to Woden, decided to kick longer, and a free kick's going to be paid. Regan was dumped after getting rid of the footy. That was Liddy who gave away the free kick, so a relayed ball for WA, and Hoff will get the shot from deep in the right forward pocket.
We see another goal from a free kick. It's been a common theme for both sides this afternoon. Either a free kick or a 50-metre penalty has been the main cause of most of these goals. Certainly going to test Hoff on this occasion.
He kicked one from a free kick in the first quarter. Much easier kick than this one. Brady Hoff from Peel Thunder. Very deep in that right forward pocket. He struck it beautifully. What a great kick from Brady Hoff. And as they have done in the first and the second quarters, they've kicked the first goal of the third term, and they stretched that lead back out. 26 points is the margin. Their biggest lead today, 27 points, so not too far away from that.
Had a good game. Brady Hoff, couple of goals to his name. Isn't playing as much in the midfield as I've seen him for Peel Thunder Colts, but certainly having an impact on the scoreboard. One of two multiple goal scorers this afternoon alongside Jai Amos.
So a couple of good goals from the boundary from Amos and Hoff now. You do see players at this level being given different roles to what they're used to. They can't play everyone in the midfield when they get to State 19's level. Yeah,
it felt like there was an abundance of midfielders for WA, so quite a few of those are rolling through half forward as well. You see Tunstall and Chipper and those sort of guys either rolling through half forward or on a wing as well.
So Steen and South will do the ruck work again. Perfect bounce from the umpire. Steen wins this one, but sharking it quickly was Brown, and he'll send WA forward. Kick towards Benning. Nice use of the body there from Adams, affecting the spoil. And on the way out, Burgoyne chips very short, not the 15, so called to play on. And Burt with that penetrating left foot. It's a superb kick. And the mark was just dropped on the line. It'll be a throw in. Stagg got to it, probably should have taken on the chest, but it'll be a throw in instead. What do you think of this rule of the umpire coming in 10 metres and the throw-in coming right back towards the corridor, Jordan?
I haven't really thought too much about it, to be honest. I'll be a fence sitter on that one.
Oh, okay, okay. I like it. I reckon it opens the game up a bit. See it in the AFLW. Long kick towards half forward. Opportunity perhaps here for Dudley. Just worried out of it. He comes back again to apply good pressure. Horne-Francis is taken high this time. He'll get the free kick. Man on the mark standing right on the 50. There's a bit of space to his right here if he wants to wind up on the arc. I've already seen his very good kick. He shaped to the left and then stabbed it inside, and that is an outstanding kick. Hugh Stagg, he knew where the footy was going, and he'll have a shot from directly in front.
That was a bullet pass there from Horn Francis. Real perfect centering ball to his teammate in Hugh Stagg. One of 2 goal kickers so far this afternoon for South Australia. Their first goal of the game.
So he's virtually directly in front. There's no breeze to worry about at all here this afternoon at Lathlain Park. That strapping on the right knee. The boy from Glenelg really makes a mess of this one. He sent it well out to the left and doesn't score. Out of bounds on the full. So Horn Francis, a little bit of an impact there to start this quarter. Short pass coming out of defence, finding Van Ruin. Then Van Ruin goes short with a shocker. It scrubs all the way along the ground, intercepted by Owens. He's caught holding the ball. Great support from Gorringe after the messy kick coming out of defence. Quick hand pass, and WA want to move it on quickly. Dittmar leaves it behind for his teammate Sheldrick to collect. He's too strong, busts through the tackle, delivers beautifully towards full forward. And the mark taken by Amos.
Outstanding work there from Angus Sheldrick. He had to shrug off that tackle.
Amos again not wanting to have a shot from long range, poking a kick to the pocket for Williams. It wasn't a good kick, so we'll see a throw in left forward pocket.
I'd like to see him have that little bit more confidence and just back himself in there.
Had that one shot in the second quarter that fell short at the other end from long range, and since then anything from 45 out he's looked to give off.
He almost looks more comfortable on the boundary at the moment.
So Benning this time in the ruck at the boundary throw in. Steam from behind. South Australia good enough to clear off the boot of Litster towards the wing. Might have been a hold on Ferrez. Great work from Hagan, diving in low, off to Johnson, and he comes inside. And it's good football from WA. Max Chipper kicks into some space. Benning down around the ankles. Wonderful pickup. Shrugs one tackle. Gives the hand pass away. South presenting again. Gives the hand pass out wide. McVie, he's got some space to work into. 50 out. Doesn't strike it perfectly. Goes all the way to the line and it's touched. Another behind for WA. And they lead out to an equal game high of 27.
They've been good, the East Freo pair across half-back. Jed Hagan and Judd McVie. A couple of lads from their Midwest zone. And they've done well out of that zone over the years.
Oh, it's a very, very profitable recruiting ground for East Fremantle and for the AFL. A number of players come out of that area. Another poor kick from South Australia coming out of defence, and Woden, another East Fremantle boy, taking the mark down low towards centre half forward with his kick. Good leap into that one from Williams. Couldn't quite reel it in. And we'll see another ball up.
For those wondering, there's 7 East Fremantle players out there today and another couple who didn't make the final 23.
So much talent from the blue and whites. Benning took clean possession, couldn't get his boot to it. Another fresh air shot this time from Roberts. Warner, hand pass to Regan, who just took his eye off it at the critical moment. Second effort was outstanding. Fierce hand pass towards Brown. Couldn't quite handle it. Roberts gets in low, trying to earn himself a free kick. Jackson with the kick into the middle. Dangerous area of the ground if they're going to turn it over, but they're not at this stage. Good collect there from Stagg. Gives it off. Burt with a little chip pass into some space. It sits okay. They tap it inside 50. Charging onto it again is Stagg. High kick towards full forward. Van Ruin attacks it in the air. Good contest from South Australia. Van Ruin's recovery's all right, although the little hand pass out in front, not the best idea. That's an interesting kick as he was slung, coming off the boot there of Kennedy. Almost goes outside their attacking 50. They'll try to set it up again, but Warner, standing in the hole, takes the mark for the Black Swans. Super kick from Warner on the way back out as well. And it's Brown with the football. Averaging 33 disposals a game at Colts level. Goes to Dittmar, and then he wants to swing it well out wide. Jed Hagan with the football on the wing. Good kick out in front of Regan. Watches that one all the way into the hands and then stabs a short pass to Williams. Just too far out to score for Williams, but the build-up's been promising here for WA, and this next kick is brilliant. And Hoff on the lead, marks right between the eyes. And I reckon if Mark Webb drew up a play going from centre half back towards forward pocket, that's pretty much the way he'd do it.
Yeah, that was faultless, wasn't it? That's real slick ball movement from WA, and Jack Williams was the spearing ball inside 50, and Brady Hoff's got the chance to be the leading goal kicker on the ground. He's got 2 to his name already, and he's every chance of kicking his third, the Peel Thunder youngster.
Turns 19 next March, Brady Hoff. Kick one from a much tougher angle than this earlier this quarter. Gets under this one a little bit and it'll swing away to the left. Only just make the distance, or is the mark paid? The goal umpire and the boundary umpire have made no signal, so this is a mark. Taken by Amos, he centres the ball and he's hit his target nicely. And an opportunity from Williams here directly in front. Very alert football there from Jai Amos up against the behind line.
That was really unselfish play there from Amos. Spotted up his fellow key forward in Jack Williams when he could have easily blazed away himself, though. Found a much better option in Williams.
So Williams hasn't kicked a goal as yet today. 32 goals in 11 games for East Fremantle this year, to give WA their biggest lead of the game. And he's made hard work of this and he's missed. It is their biggest lead of the game, but not as big as it should be. They've left a few out there today, I reckon, Jordan. A couple of misses that they normally would have liked to have kicked.
They probably kicked the hard ones and
yeah,
nailed the easier ones, unfortunately, today.
6-9 to 2-5. Down low, a good mark from an awkward swinging ball there. Becker taking it. Normally looks to kick nice and long, and he spears this one towards the wing. In from the side, Bazzo, waiting down Hagan, takes the crumbs and then centres the kick. Again combining with another shark there in McVie, and they'll keep it in the blue and white to Woden. Back to Gorringe. It's all East Fremantle at the moment here for WA. Gorringe wants to kick, and that's an outstanding kick on that 45 degrees. Opens the play up here for Avery. He kicks hoping for Regan. Good stretch, couldn't pull it in. Recovery was good from 51 out. Long kick towards full forward. Will it carry? It does. Desperate effort on the goal line from Becker, but he couldn't get his fingers to it. And a nice goal there from long range from Ethan Regan. And WA are out beyond 5 goals.
Like he might have been spotting up his teammate in Jai Amos there, but that was a huge roost there from outside the 50-metre arc. Been prominent this afternoon, Ethan Regan, playing that link-up forward role across half forward. Almost a bit of Tom Lynch about the way he goes about it, that Adelaide Crows version, or the recently delisted Adelaide Crow.
Every quarter started the same way, hasn't it? WA dominating the opening efforts, and then South Australia chipping away late in the term, and it started again in this quarter. We're beyond the halfway mark of the term, and it's really been all WA. Kicked the only 2 goals of the quarter. South Australia haven't scored.
Blown up to 34 points now, so a game high margin for either side. Starting to get that dangerous deficit now for South Australia.
They've put Lukac onto the ball here for this centre bounce against South, and he flicks it over the back. I've liked his ruck work. Probably looked the more dangerous ruckman in there for South Australia. Draper got the next hands to it, and they've come out nicely. Kennedy kicks into the corridor. It's a dangerous ball, and Gorringe came in crashing into his opponent. Made the body spoil as much as the fist there. He's going to be chased down here. Just gets the hand pass away. Good collect from Payton. And they've worked this through some congestion in the middle. Eventually with South. Kicks low. Regan on the half volley. Could have given it to Motlop. Instead he gives it to Hoff. Can they finish it off from end to end? Not quite. Exciting footy from WA, but it ends in a behind.
How good was that work from Ethan Regan? Just picked it up on the half volley and fired off a quick handball there to Brady Hoff. Couldn't get the job done on that occasion. 7-10
to 2-5 for WA. 17 scoring shots to 7. That probably tells the tale of the game, as Lewis Rayson has the footy here for South Australia. Played a good first quarter. Didn't see so much of him in the second. Short pass to Draper. Hello, Draper from the Panthers, South Adelaide. Working hard to get to that one was Grubb. Couldn't finish off the mark. Good contest from a couple of players crashing in there. Brown and Burgoyne. Brown comes back off to Warner. Quick couple of steps to clear the congestion, then kicks to an open goal square. Will need a friendly bounce here. Gets the top spinner. Went on for a behind.
Just needed a bit of leg spin there,
didn't he?
Dave?
There's a fair bit to like about Warner. And, I mean, when you look at players that you've already seen the older brother, there's a fair few similarities. He's a left footer rather than a right footer, but apart from that, he's a good strong body, attacks the contest hard.
Played some senior footy as well for East Fremantle. Went straight from Aquinas' PSA side straight into East Fremantle's league side, so that just shows how highly they rate him down at Shark Park.
Lewis racing with the intercept mark and then looking for Lukac, who can't take it. Recovery was okay, and a good strong bump there on Sheldrick, although the umpire from out of the zone has said there was some high contact there. Unfortunate for Lukac. It's probably more the way that Sheldrick went to ground. He's recovered fine. He'll take the free kick.
He doesn't shy away from a contest.
No.
Angus Sheldrick, absolute bull in the midfield.
WA across half back, happy to share the football. They get it in the hands of Max Chipper from Swan Districts. Brought into the game today with an injury late in the week for WA. South Australia, an intercept in the middle, but no clean possession yet. Amos knocked off the footy. Coming in to collect is Kennedy. They pop it out the side. Liddy, arguably South Australia's best player in the first half. Now out into some space for Owens. Wants to come back inside, and too much on it for Burt. Burgoyne behind, knocked away from him, and WA might be able to launch. Woden, short pass, and we're back where we started. Centre half back, Max Chipper. Comes out to Bazzo, and then a couple of WA players coming on through the interchange gates at the right time. Benning takes the mark. Good control of the football for the most part today, although that kick will just let Benning down, and getting back is Rayson again. And he turns it over with a kick that Brown intercepts. Hand pass off to Chipper. Delivers towards centre half forward. Arriving late, Steen making the spoil. Good follow-up tackle, though, by the big ruckman in South. He can do a bit of everything, Jordan.
Yes, he can, yeah. He's super athletic, isn't he? And just got a really good engine. Just works his opponent around the ground so well.
Swats this one forward towards Payton. Beaten to the football. He applies the tackle on Burgoyne. Umpire will call for a ball up just inside the front edge of the centre square.
South hasn't really been talked about that much as a potential draft prospect, but when you put in these sort of performances on the national stage, it certainly does your chances no harm.
He gets around the ground well. Lanky sort of a build. Payton, hand passes through. That hand pass going straight up and down on the spot from Tunstall, but it's still inside 50 here for WA. Dragged to ground without the football. Free kick coming the way of Brown. Tackle just lingered after the ball spilled away. And he will mark a spot on the ground, then pace out a run-up. Have a shot for goal from just inside 50, pretty much directly in front.
He's been one of WA's best in this second half. Josh Brown averaging 33 disposals at Waffle Colts level, up from 21 last year, so a massive improvement from him. He's worked really hard on the aerobic side of his game and put on some size as well, so no games under 26 disposals this year. A remarkable effort.
Bad run, is it? Vice captain here today, close to the man on the mark. Swings it out towards the left, and it's not coming back from there. So 7 goals, 12 WA. It's probably the one area of the game that has let them down a little bit. Their set shot kicking from pretty much straight in front. They've missed a few that they normally would kick. Burgoyne receiving the kick in. Goes for a jog up the line, and then that kick is not great. It's just marked inside the line by Lewis Rayson. 4 or 5 touches in the last 5 minutes for him. Do like the look of him as a left footer towards the wing this time. 3 South Australians up in the air. Horn Francis is tackled and brought to ground by Tunstall. Still not getting any real space here today, Horn Francis. And it's an interesting challenge for him here today, Jordan. He's played a lot of league footy. Today stepping down to his age group. In some ways you might expect that it'll be easier, but these WA players won't want to give him an inch at all.
Yeah, he's played 25 league games for South Adelaide, which is remarkable for a kid of his age. He's only 18 years old, so made his debut as a 17-year-old last year, and hard to take out of the side at the moment.
Now, holding free kick off the ball here after Motlop had come in strongly. That wasn't where the free kick was paid. It was off to the side, and it goes against Payton for a hold. Hugh Jackson is the man who will get the free kick. Thinks about a hand pass. He's going to give it off to Burgoyne, who's under pressure from Motlop, but it worked out okay. Back to Jackson. About to be run down. He's caught by the second. Was it high? It was. Payton hasn't had the rub of the green from the umpires today, although he has given a couple away himself, and that was definitely a high tackle. Just a little bit overzealous, but they've managed to win it back across half back. Avery working his way through traffic. Little chip pass. Gets it back to Payton. Avery gives the short lead. That's ignored. Payton wants to go longer, or perhaps into the corridor. There's a couple queuing up there. Instead, he sits it up towards half forward. Benning from behind. Great leap. He pinched it from behind his opponent. Hand pass away to Brown, who's running by. That kick not well directed. It's all South Australia, and Becker takes the intercept mark. It's easy to get excited when Eric Benning is in the area of the football. I think Becker looked like he was going to kick it back towards him there and change his mind. Decides to go up the middle instead. Good use of the body from Bryce Watson. Takes the mark. Hand pass off to Johnson. Just cruises through the gears and hand passes it back to Hagan. Straight down the middle he goes. Little nudge and a mark paid to Williams.
It's almost land of the Giants up forward for WA at the moment. Williams, Amos, Benning, all taking some really nice marks inside 50. Williams will want to join Amos on the goal kickers list though. He butchered that attempt from same angle, or same no angle.
But further out.
Yeah, so he's got a chance to get his name on the goal kickers list.
This will be the last kick of the quarter. The siren just about to sound. Jack Williams gets the hurry up from the umpire, but the siren will end proceedings. Just this kick to come from Jack Williams. Yet to kick one so far today to finish off what's been a very dominant quarter for WA, and he's done so in style. And the jumpers of the Black Swan come in to celebrate with Jack. 3-0 in this quarter, as it was in the first quarter. And WA have made a meal of this one here. 8-12-60. They lead South Australia 2-5-17. Two goals to Hoff and Amos, while Williams, Regan, Dittmar and Motlop have kicked goals as well for WA. Stagg and Roberts kicking goals for South Australia in the second quarter. And they're the only goals that have been kicked by the Crow Eaters in 3 quarters of footy. So WA by 43 points, Jordan, at the final change, and it really was just a repeat of what we saw in the first quarter. 3-0 and pretty much total dominance all around the ground.
Yeah, spot on. WA pulling all the punches in that quarter. 3 goals to South Australia. Didn't even score in that one, so the scoring shots were unbelievably
3-6-0.
Yeah, it's just pure dominance there from the home side, and they look like they're going to run away with this one. Thought South Australia might have improved in that second half, but they've gone the other way, unfortunately. Horne-Francis hasn't been at his best today. Roberts and Liddy were good in that first half, but probably faded a bit since half-time, and total opposite story for WA. They've got ball winners all over the ground, from Dittmar and Sheldrick in the midfield. Josh Brown really impressed me in that third quarter, and the tall timber up forward for WA, causing all sorts of headaches as well, with Amos, Williams both taking some really nice marks inside 50. Eric Benning as well, and Ethan Regan's played that link-up role beautifully between the midfield and the forward line as well. So a lot to like from a WA point of view, but South Australia probably just too many passengers at the moment. They've had glimpses, but yeah, really disappointing third quarter from them.
Yeah, and the coach has called them in very quickly, and he's got the board up and letting them know a few things that he needs improved in the final term. Otherwise, this will get very ugly for South Australia.
Wouldn't mind seeing Lukac play more in the ruck. I really liked what he's produced when he's been given the chance. He played mainly as a key forward today, but with the ball not really going up there at the moment, he could be that real game breaker for South Australia. He probably matches South for athleticism, doesn't he? He's got that really nice leap on him, and yeah, he's had some nice moments in the ruck, so that could be one positional change that South Australian coach Tony Bamford could look at in this final quarter, but still a long way back, isn't it? 43 points down when you've only kicked 2 goals, 5 for the match, so yeah, a lot of work to do for the visitors at the moment.
Be interesting to see what WA changed in the last quarter as well. Obviously, teams at this level do like to win the game, but it is as much about giving players an opportunity to show what they're capable of doing, and sometimes the final margin is not really all that important when it comes to the end of the day and what's actually been put on show by everybody. So I wonder whether they might even look to perhaps change a few positional, make a few positional moves and give a few players opportunities in positions that we haven't seen yet so far today.
Brady Hoff in the midfield, that might be one. He's done pretty well so far up forward with 2 goals, but he's one of those ones who could certainly show recruiters a different side to his game today. Could we see Warner get a run inside as well? He's done some really nice things on the outside. His left boot's outstanding, isn't it, when he drives the ball inside 50, and gets on a good run.
Just looking at the WA huddle, Ben Dyer is giving the instructions. I haven't seen Mark Webb down there today. I'm not sure. Has there been a late change in the
He got caught
in coaching?
In quarantine.
Ah, there you go.
Unfortunately, he's had to make a quick dash to Melbourne and got caught in quarantine on the way back, unfortunately. So he'll be watching the stream, no doubt, and he'll be a very proud coach this afternoon that his Chargers have gone so well. And credit not only to Ben Dyer for his work today, but Mark Webb for his work in the build-up, and obviously the WA Footy Commission coaching staff. Bo McDonald, we saw Michael Johnson taking the defence as well, so some serious names in that WA coaching staff.
Benny Dyer's been around AFL circles for a number of years. North Melbourne, a fair bit of work over there.
Yeah, that's right, and coached the 17s as well earlier in the season in South Australia. They lost that one narrowly. Really interesting game of footy, that one. The WA certainly had their chances, missed a lot of shots early days, but like a lot of those 17s guys coming through for next year. Chase Bourne, Jed Hagan, Jed Buslinger. As we've mentioned, I think Buslinger took 18 marks that day, so it was just a remarkable performance from him. So let's just hope there's potentially another game of this 19s carnival. Obviously still a lot to play out with COVID. Our thoughts are with those watching on from Victoria and New South Wales at the moment.
Yeah, we've mentioned it a few times already. It's just a great opportunity here for these two states, the boys involved, to get their chance to show what they can do at this sort of level. And well done to the two organising bodies in the two states, the WA Footy Commission and the South Australian National Footy League, who acted very quickly once that opportunity presented itself earlier this week with the change in the border restrictions. They were onto it. I think late last week they pretty much ruled a line through this one, and speaking to a few of the staff behind the scenes earlier this morning, they'd a bit deflated, I think, earlier in the week when they thought that there wasn't much chance, and then they finally got the word that it could happen. So very quickly worked with the AFL to get this match up and running, and certainly the WA boys have enjoyed the opportunity. South Australia might be just having second thoughts about it just for now, but I'm sure it's much better playing a game of footy than missing out altogether when you get a chance to represent your state.
Absolutely. Credit to both states for getting this one up and running so quickly at such short notice as well. So fantastic work from both states, and like the WA talent manager Adam Jones said, it could be the difference between 12 kids getting drafted from WA and SA and maybe another 3 or 4 that might not have had as much attention from the recruiters. Maybe someone like a Brady Hoff, who he's in his first season of Waffle Colts. Same with Eric Benning. They've both done some really nice things. Even an Angus Sheldrick as well, or a Jake South, like I mentioned earlier, hasn't really been in draft conversations. He's just been an outstanding competitor in the Waffle Colts competition and more recently in the Rezzies as well. So a couple of names that recruiters might not know as much about suddenly are on the forefront of their minds.
Yep, every time you set foot onto a footy ground, you've got a chance to impress someone. And when there's recruiters watching, it's always worth getting out there and doing your very best. And WA have done that so far today. As we start the last quarter, WA by 43 points. Just a term to go. Bit of a dance and a jig from the umpire as he gets himself into motion to start this term, and then a long pause as well. Very theatrical performance from the umpire and a good bounce to back it up as well, as South Australia will emerge with the first possession of the quarter. Liddy sends it very wide. It'll come off the boot and just flicked up the line. Stagg trying to go and collect it before it goes over, but the boundary umpire was onto that one and he'll throw it in.
Horn Francis starting this quarter as a deep forward, so I think Gorringe got the job on him. Both opposing skippers there.
South in the ruck against Steen again. Work to the front. Quick kick was smothered off the boot of Owens. Rebound quickly to Wanganeen Miller up. His high kick to half forward, and Bazzo kept his eyes on the footy well with a bit of body contact around the contest.
He hasn't taken his eyes off the footy for about 2 hours, has he? He's been outstanding.
He wouldn't mind the kick back though. That was a horrible kick. Dudley puts them deep forward, getting back, good use of the body. Draper takes the mark. So they've sent a couple of big name midfields forward with Draper and Horn Francis deep to start this final quarter.
Yeah, that's right. The South Adelaide teammates, both plenty of senior experience between those two, and they're the ones that really need to lift in this final term if South Australia are any chance of pulling this margin back.
For the first time today, they kick the first goal in a quarter. Arlo Draper on the board for South Australia. And they're going to need a few more of those to get themselves within touch in this quarter. I think they'll be setting themselves just to win this quarter, wouldn't they, and take something home with them?
I think so, yeah. 43 points is a long way back at three-quarter time, but so far so good for them in this final quarter.
So Arlo Draper expected to be on the pretty high on the list for the recruiters when they report back for draft time.
I think so, yeah. He had some ankle issues earlier in the season, missed a couple of months, as did Matty Roberts, but they've certainly been building nicely over the past few weeks.
So the perfect start for this final quarter for South Australia after they went scoreless through the third term. Nice ruck work this time from Steen, but onto that loose footy quickly with Sheldrick. Sends him in the bending direction. Almost the mark taken though by South Australia through Beacon. Fight for the footy in the forward pocket. Clever little hand pass sets them up, and now Wanganeen Miller sold a bit of candy a couple of times there, and kicks looking for Burgoyne. Marking the back edge of the centre square. Kicks out wide. Running onto the football is Owens. Not a great kick, made it hard for Lukac, but he collected it nicely on the bounce. Swings the hand pass back inside, and he'll get it back once more. Lukac receiving the hand pass back from Steen. High kick into the middle. Works out okay. Liddy lays it off. Stabbing the kick in low was Litster. Couldn't find the target. Following up hard is Grubb. Try to go back to Liddy. Can't find the football, and we'll have a high tackle. Free kick going the way of WA. And this time Payton gets one in his favour.
Chase Burgoyne moving into the midfield there. Started the game down back, but just could provide that X factor and a few clearances in the midfield.
Johnson's run hard to receive this one, spreading out wide. He'll ship it in short and get it to Warner. Warner to the pocket, bending on the lead, stretching, going with the one hand, couldn't take the mark. Beacon there, getting it out of defence towards Burgoyne. Down the line, his kick, finding Rayson. Wants to come back inside with that left boot to Liddy. Cruising pass for the hand pass was Dudley. That was ignored. Ball goes out in front of Liddy. About to be run down for the second time. He stands up in that tackle, somehow gets the hand pass over his shoulder. Dudley with the football towards full forward. Roberts is deep forward as well, makes the spoil on Bazzo, and Bazzo follows up with a good tackle on Horne-Francis. Back to Roberts, off to Lukac, he's caught, back to Roberts. Left foot kick over the shoulder, he's gone wide and it's out of bounds on the full. Oh, desperate just to keep that ball alive, South Australia, under immense pressure from the WA defence, and in the end the error came from the kick. So WA with the free kick going the way of Judd McVie. Celebrated his 18th birthday a few weeks ago. Short pass finds Dittmar. And now Dittmar will kick for distance up the line. Hoff is the target. Big leap from behind from Wanganeen Miller. Umpire said unrealistic attempt. And the free kick goes the way of Hoff.
That'd have been a special mark if he pulled that one off.
Certainly got some talent. Wanganeen Miller up. This kick towards the half forward line. Flicked over the top by South. Coming through was O'Loughlin, left the ball behind. Benning applying the pressure. Sheldrick with the hand pass. Charging through and collecting, but missing with the kick on that occasion. It was Amos. Needs a tougher angle, doesn't he?
Yeah, exactly right.
Right against the boundary.
Yeah, that's right. A couple of steps to the left there, and that's about his range.
Burt to bring it back in for South Australia. It's a good kick. Mark not taken by Stagg. WA applying the pressure. Motlop gives it off, gets it back. He might want it back for a third time. Support comes from Johnson. Awkward ball to collect. Eventually he does. Turns back inside with his hand pass. Burt is there. He's crunched and thrown to ground. The umpire says a push in the back in the end. So Johnson tried to finish things off. So Isaac Burt to take the free kick. Another one of the South Adelaide Panthers. Short pass goes backwards to O'Loughlin, called to play on, didn't travel to 15. Another kick to Wanganeen Miller is called to play on. And his kick on the way out hits the target of Adams. South Australia with some space to operate down the outer side, but a good mark again from Bazzo. Kick favoured him rather than the man in front in Roberts. And Bazzo taking another intercept mark. High kick for Johnson here. Little push in the back came from Dudley. And the free kick goes away of Johnson. Just little finger signals calling for someone to lead. He gets the lead from Hoff, or Amos rather, who juggled, couldn't finish it off. And South Australia are able to clear. Isaac Burke with the footy.
Ethan Regan just getting some tests on the boundary line there. He came into the game with a little bit of a knee issue. Got through training okay on Thursday night, but one to watch there. He's already got that right knee strapped up. Would be a bit of a shame after such an impressive game from Regan.
WA doctor Nick Caputi having a good look at him. Been doing that job for a number of years now, Nick. Former Waffle footballer. Good contest for the footy here. No easy possession. Motlop with the tackle at the end. And we'll get another ball up. I'm sure Regan would like to get his way back out there, but they'll take no risk with him. Neither rucks touch the footy. There was some contact to the back of the head of South, though, and a free kick goes his way. Hand pass to Motlop, chips it in short, wasn't well directed. And the intercept from Burt. Wasn't a mark on this occasion, but he able to tap it away for a boundary throw in. Right beneath our broadcast position here at Mineral Resources Park. Surface in outstanding condition. Been a lot of rain in WA this winter, but no effect on this surface. Free kick for a push in the back, and advantage paid to Jackson, who dashes away, puts the kick out in front of Dudley. Coming across to contest with him is Watson. It's a genuine one-on-one contest here. Watson collects, Dudley takes him in the tackle, and that'll be holding the ball. Incorrect disposal, and Dudley gets the free kick. Isaiah Dudley wants to take on Watson now, gives him a fend off as well. Pokes the kick into the pocket, but Gorringe was onto it. Nicely read, takes the mark in defence. The WA skipper. His side leading by 37 points. It's 17 minutes to go in this one. The NAB AFL Under-19 Championships getting underway. Won't be the traditional championships this year, but any game we can squeeze in is a good one. Van Ruin decides to kick this one towards the wing position. Forced to spoil this time was Amos, and he really hurt the body of Wanganeen Miller in the process as well. Tunstall with the hand pass inside. Wanganeen Miller is still yet to get to his feet as Hoff collects the footy. Comes inside with his kick. It's a beautiful ball for Williams to run onto. A lot of space up forward. Little pokey kick. Nicely done coming back by Jackson. Gives off the hand pass to Rayson, and now the clearing kick to another one-on-one. From behind, Hagan makes the spoil there on Owens. First back as well. Hand pass to Gorringe, who didn't handle the football. Gorringe might ask Hagan to get back involved. No, he just works his body away. Chips a little pass in front of Warner with that left boot. Gets it deep forward again. Nice defensive work this time. Down there by Becker, who's down and cramping. And we'll see a boundary thrown in that left forward pocket. Wanganeen Miller is being assisted off the ground. Had the wind knocked out of him. Hopefully there's no rib damage down there, Jordan. He looks very sore.
Yeah, he looks in the world of pain there, Wanganeen Miller. So fingers crossed, nothing serious there for him.
So Lukac doing the ruck work this time for South Australia. Opposed to South, they wrestle, and then Lukac releases to win the tap. Hoff goes and collects the footy for WA. Nearly spins himself into trouble. Swooping through for South Australia is Kennedy. And they look to get this one away. Nice little left foot kick again coming out of defence from Rayson. Had a good second half. Burt's kick into some space. Burgoyne took his eye off it for a moment, but plenty of time to recover the football. Has a bounce, going for a cruise up the wing. Now Dudley. It's the short kick away. And South Australia have the mark through Stagg. Ignores the short lead coming towards him, decides to kick to a 1-on-4, and Jason Horne-Francis set himself up for mark of the year. It was always going to be tough to take when you've got 3 or 4 tools for WA, although the West have made a mess of this on the way back out, and some high contact there in the initial tackle and the second tackle, I reckon, has given away the free kick, and Draper can have a shot for his second.
Just a couple of brain feds there from WA, wasn't it? Firstly, the butchered kick, and then just a little bit overzealous on that tackle.
How's Horne-Francis there? Hasn't made a name for himself today with his footy just yet, but he wanted to take mark of the day and get on the highlights reel.
Yeah, he got some serious airtime on that one, Horne-Francis.
So instead it's his mate Arlo Draper. Kicked the first goal of this quarter. And he's just missed this one away to the left. So South Australia with the only 2 scores of this quarter, 11 minutes in. A goal and a behind. WA haven't scored.
Azzo looking a bit sore on the sidelines as well, so a few boys going down at the moment for both sides. Ethan Regan still yet to come back on.
Yeah, so he's doing a few stretches on the boundary, trying to convince the medical staff that it's worth putting him back out there. And while the WA defenders happy to share this ball around defensive 50 and see if they can shift the South Australian zone. Eventually called to play on now as they'll look to clear. A long kick, Van Ruin. Good leap, hands on the footy, couldn't take it. Hand pass from Tunstall going straight up and down on the same spot. Good tackle from Van Ruin. Where do you reckon his best footy will end up being? Or is he going to be the type of guy that you can swing either end?
Yeah, I think he'd be one of those types that you could reliably swing at either end of the ground. I love his aggression. I've seen him play as an inside mid as well at Colts level and won some clearances that day as well. So he's one of those players who could play anywhere.
This kick's going very high and wide from the boot of Chipper. No one can take that mark. O'Loughlin, hand pass to Burgoyne, comes back inside with his kick and it works out okay. Lewis Rayson has it again, wants to take on Payton on the mark and then uses that left boot towards Burt. They've combined a few times this afternoon. Now Isaac Burt with the football. Called to play on after looking to go inside, goes very wide with his kick. Beacon kicks down the line and gets it to Kennedy again. Kicks on that 45-degree angle to open up the play. Burgoyne with the mark. He's got players out wide. It's a slow kick swinging it out there, but the mark has been taken by Jackson. And now Jackson will go longer towards full forward. Deep is Horne-Francis. He was held onto by Gorringe. Gorringe was very concerned about what Horne-Francis might do. He would have seen his leap a few minutes ago and knew he couldn't afford to let him have a good run at the footy, and he grabbed the front of the jumper.
He's got that presence about him, doesn't he, Horne-Francis, where does suck players into thinking about the player more than the ball at times.
Yeah, the physical presence and the presence of the reputation that comes before it as well. He kicks his first goal. And South Australia have kicked the only 2 of this quarter. WA has still doubled their score at 60-30. But nice for Horne-Francis to get his name on the score sheet after what's been a pretty quiet day for him. We mentioned earlier that it's an interesting situation for him to be in, having played so much senior football over the last couple of years. This is a rare occasion to play against players of his own age group, and sometimes that comes with a lot of expectation as well, and maybe the teammates as well get excited about playing with someone who has that reputation that he does, and maybe they sit back and watch him and don't support him as much as they could.
Yeah, like his coach Jared Wright said, he couldn't remember the last time he played against kids his own age. He thought it might have been 12 to 18 months ago at least, so a remarkable effort from him to play such not only regular senior footy but play it so well as well. That tackle on Darcy Fogarty the other week, that was unbelievable. It takes most adults can't tackle Darcy Fogarty down, let alone an 18-year-old kid, so yeah, he's certainly something special.
WA out of the middle through Dittmar. Long kick towards about 30 metres out from goal. Swooping through O'Loughlin. Gets the hand pass away in the nick of time. And Ferrers, who's playing in defence now, gets the kick away. I'm impressed with Ferrers this afternoon. Here's Steen. That kick asks a lot of his teammate, and Hagan makes a good spoil down there on Owens. Dittmar runs into some heavy traffic and he'll be penalised holding the ball. Doesn't mind taking them on, Dittmar, but this time he was caught, and it's Ferrers again. His kick lets him down on this occasion. Intercept mark taken by Chipper. His kick finds Payton. He swings a hand pass over the top. Dittmar has Johnson cruising by, decides to ignore that and go longer. There's a couple of West Australians setting themselves. Amos with a big leap. That's a good tackle applied. 3 South Australians involved in that one. Brown couldn't get it out, and now it's a chance for South Australia perhaps to move this footy quickly out of defence. Adams with a high kick to the wing. In from the side. Cook didn't get hands to the football. Williams behind the football this time for WA. Woden has it. A bit of run and carry coming from Tunstall. Hand pass misses the target. Williams mopping up to Johnson. Goes back to Bazzo. And they've had enough of the handballing this time. High kick towards a packet in the pocket. No one can take the mark out the back door. It's all WA, and Hoff with the banana rams it into the goalpost. First score of this quarter for WA, taking nearly 16 minutes.
It's been pretty quiet in this quarter. WA, South Australia certainly the better side in this final term, but still a long way back, isn't it? 31 points the margin.
got the ball in motion again, and it's Roberts who has a player free on the wing. Liddy. Quick movement of the football here from South Australia. Grubb now has it. Got those fluorescent yellow boots on. And he wants someone to lead to him. No one coming just yet. Eventually Cook gives a lead, and he ignores that one. Decides to go longer instead, and it's tailor-made for this man, Bazzo. More than happy to attack any ball in the air within his region of the field. Williams kicks towards Benning, goes one-handed. The spoil from behind was good from Litster. Benning with the second effort. Litster with his second effort wins the ball. Gets it back to Beacon. Wide to Wanganeen Miller. Good to see him back out there. He's obviously recovered from the heavy knock he took earlier, and South Australia have done this very well as they've got it to Draper in the forward pocket. That final kick coming from Stagg. Draper won't have a shot. He'll poke a kick into the pocket even deeper, almost up against the behind line. Behind post, I should say. And it's Lucas Cook from Woodville, West Torrens. Wants to run around and bend this back, and it just nicks the inside of the goalpost. It wasn't a bad effort from the young Eagle.
Nearly a very special goal there from Lucas Cook.
South Australia winning the quarter, 2 goals, 1 to just 1 behind with 8 minutes to go. Finn Gorringe, the WA captain. Adds his name to a pretty prestigious list. Devon Robertson, the last one to lead WA. Won the Lark medal.
Went to school together as well, Aquinas College, so they know each other very well.
Nice mark again from Dittmar. Just pulled up with a bit of a sore back there after taking the mark. Just grabbed at it. He's okay. Gets the kick down the line. A lot of Black Swan jumpers around here. Woden with the hand pass, intercepted by Roberts. And he just sends the hurry kick forward. Waiting back a little bit that time, Van Rooyen. Wasn't sure whether it would attack or not. Cook did attack it, and now Van Rooyen wraps him up with a strong tackle, carrying him over the boundary line. And the crowd enjoyed that from Jacob Van Rooyen.
Such good aggression about him, Jacob Van Rooyen. Never shies away from a contest, and he's performed beautifully, hasn't he? Across half back, mounting one of the key defensive posts this afternoon.
He was school teammates with Joel Weston at Churchlands a couple of years ago, winning a school competition amongst the state schools. Now carrying the ball through the middle, Gus Sheldrick gives it off to Warner. Has a bounce and then kicks with the left. He's gone very wide. Hoff has to really go and fetch this one, and he keeps it in, but keeps it in to the advantage of his opponent. And Litster finds a target on the way out, finding Rayson. And they'll keep on running up this line. Jackson, kick back inside. No one can take that mark. There's McVie giving it off towards Hagan. His kick was touched in flight. Now O'Loughlin for South Australia towards half forward. Roberts going one way then the other, kicking with the outside of the left boot into a dangerous area, collected by Horn Francis. Thought about having a ping, decided to give it off to the runner, and Becker will run into the open goal. Nicely done by South Australia, and very unselfish from Horn Francis. He's had a good final term, and Becker, who played the first 3 quarters in defence, has bobbed up forward to kick a goal.
Yeah, an unlikely goal kicker there for South Australia, but really unselfish play there from Horn Francis, who could have blazed away himself, but assessed his options and found the much better one in Zach Becker, who streamed into an open goal and kicked South Australia's 3rd in a row. So they've gone from a scoreless 3rd term to kicking the only 3 goals of this final term. So some positive signs. Like you mentioned, all they would have wanted to do in this final quarter was win it and at least provide a contest, which they've done fantastically. Still a long way back, isn't it? 24 points with
5 minutes to go. So unlikely that they'll be able to run that down with no time on, but I'm sure it would please Coach Bamford. A very deliberate umpire who does his little dance with the feet and then a slow approach, and this time unfortunately doesn't nail the bounce. The last one couldn't have been any better. So second opportunity, it will be a toss in the air. Williams doing the ruck work opposed to Lukaku, who wins it down beautifully. Hand pass coming out the back from Kennedy, off to Burgoyne. Spots up the target, gets it to Liddy, who sidesteps one and sends a kick long on goal and just misses to the left. But some of the football South Australia have played in this final quarter, Jordan, has been much, much better and probably shows what they're really capable of.
Yeah, that's right. If there was an extra 5 or 10 minutes in this game, you just never know the way they're playing this final quarter out.
Jordan McArdle and Dave Lindsay are commentators here this afternoon for the AFL Under-19s, thanks to NAB. Jack Williams has the ball on the wing for WA. Short pass hitting up Motlop. Started the game brightly. Kicked a goal in the first quarter. Had his hand in one or two others as well. He'll be called to play on here after taking his full allocation of time, and then kicks to the pocket. Benning is the target. Has to come from behind. Gets first bite. Can't finish it off. And South Australia will clear. Here's Wanganeen Miller again. Copped a very heavy knock from Jai Amos, who crashed a pack earlier this quarter. Some concerns that maybe done some damage to his ribs, but he's okay. And that's a horrible kick this time from O'Loughlin. It's been intercepted, and Payton makes them pay. First goal of the last quarter for WA, 22 minutes in. Unfortunately for O'Loughlin, an error in the back pocket, and when you turn it over 15 metres out directly in front of goal, it couldn't be anything worse for South Australia.
We've seen that too many times this afternoon from the South Australians, just butchering the ball out of defence. So, I'm not saying O'Loughlin's done it himself, but certainly seen it a few times. It's cost him time and time again, unfortunately, and Lockie Payton joins the WA goal kickers.
It's been an interesting day for Payton, hasn't it? The umpires haven't really enjoyed his work. They've penalised him probably 3 or 4 times, but he has done some nice things as well.
His tackle count would be up there, but unfortunately a few of them have been too high, and then he obviously gave away that 50-metre penalty as well. He's had some nice moments as well, but had some moments he'd rather take back as well.
Ball thumped into the turf. Williams wins it down, swooping through Motlop, immediately tackled by Roberts. Ball comes back to Motlop, and the umpire might have to separate them. So Motlop getting a crack in the middle.
Yeah, Motlop and Hoff both moving up the ground a little bit.
Chippers in the centre square as well. Lukac wins in the ruck. Dudley onto the loose footy. Hand passes away to Jackson. Gets South Australia inside 50, but that's a well-judged mark from Jack Avery. He's played pretty deep in defence for most of today, but enjoying a little run up at half-back. Finds Warner on the way out and a short pass to Chipper. What a great opportunity it was for him earlier in the week. Wouldn't have expected to get a game at all.
He certainly put his hand up in the Waffle Colts. 31 disposals he's averaged this year, so 3rd highest in the competition.
Replacing Neil Erasmus today, who's out with a badly corked thigh. And Johnson, a little untidy with this kick. Great pick up from McVie, gives it off to Hagan. They don't mind sharing the ball, those couple of sharks across half-back. Motlop with the mark. And then the delivery, just touched in flight at the last moment there by Burt, but WA have the extra numbers around, and Watson pulled the kick nicely there, chipped it into some space, and Williams has presented well. Played well as a forward and also shown a little bit in the ruck in this quarter as well, Jack Williams. Just over a minute to go. Time enough for both sides to add another goal before the end of this one. High kick towards half forward, big fist from the South Australian defence. And that's gone out of play. A couple of Crow Eaters having a crack at that. Both Beacon and Adams doing the work. As we wind down towards full time, WA by 29 points. They got out by as much as 43 points at 3/4 time. South Australia have kicked 3 goals to 1 in this final quarter to make the scoreboard look a lot more respectable, and have played some of the footy that I'm sure they would have expected to play when they flew across the Nullarbor. Fading seconds now. WA probably the only team now with an opportunity to score before the final siren. Both teams pretty happy to wind this one up. Coming out of defence, hand pass comes out from Ferris. He's been a good player for South Australia today. One of their best in the first half, and now finding himself in defence. And that's all she wrote. Impressive performance from WA, certainly through the first 3/4 of this game before South Australia found a bit of spark in the last term. But the Black Swans have a win to their credit. They're still the reigning champions from 2 years ago with no Under-19s carnival last year, and this is the only game to this point of the season. But they win today by 29 points, 9-13-67 to 5-8-38. 2 goals to Amos and to Hoff, while Motlop, Dittmar, Regan, Williams and Payton also kicked goals. South Australia had 5 individual goal scorers: Stagg, Roberts, Draper, Horn-Francis and Becker. Jordan McArdle, what do you make of all of that?
WA was certainly the better side for most of this afternoon. They won 3 of the 4 quarters and kept South Australia scoreless in that third term. So they certainly controlled proceedings for most of the day, except that final term really, but the damage was already done. When you're up by 43 points at three-quarter time, it's always difficult to give up a lead of that size. Really like the ruck work of Jake South, who unfortunately didn't finish the game. He's got some ice on his right knee, so hopefully nothing serious there, because he had an outstanding day and no doubt would have put his name in lights in front of AFL recruiters around the country. Jed Hagan and Judd McVie I thought were impressive across half-back, as was Taj Woden, a Melbourne father-son prospect. On the wing, Corey Warner did some nice things, and Gus Sheldrick inside, and Kay Dittmar as well, a couple of the WA midfield bulls. Jai Amos had an almost day, didn't he? He kicked a couple of goals, but probably could have kicked 3, 4, 5 if things went his way, and he didn't pass off a couple that he could have kicked himself. Jack Williams was a real focal point as well at centre-half forward. I thought he presented really well and used it well as well when he got it, other than that missed set shot straight in front. Ethan Regan played that link-up forward role really well. Unfortunately, he was another one that went down. Looks like he's got ice on his right hamstring at the moment, so a couple of injury concerns for WA. For South Australia, it's hard to pick their best, wasn't it? A lot of players were good in patches. Yeah, I thought Jace Burgoyne finished the game off well. He started down back and ended up in the midfield and had some nice moments there. Wanganeen Millera on the outside, I thought he showed flashes of brilliance. He was another one that went down and spent some time on the sidelines there after copping a bit of a knock. Morgan Perez, I thought he was good at both ends of the ground, wasn't he? He had some moments in the opening half as a key forward and then was switched into defence. Juan Francis finished the game off nicely, didn't he? He couldn't have his usual impact as an inside midfielder, but at least in that second half drifted forward and not only kicked a goal himself, but set up a couple of others as well. So he'll take plenty of heart out of the way he finished there, the SA skipper. Hugh Stagg did some good things as well. He kicked one of South Australia's 5 goals, and Arlo Draper as well. He finished the game off pretty well. His South Adelaide teammate, Matty Roberts, was probably their most consistent player alongside Liddy. But in the end, WA, far too good.
Lots of family and friends up in the grandstand giving the WA boys a warm reception as they head into the rooms. And we're not sure, of course, if there'll be any more opportunities for the teams to play any further NAB AFL Under-19 Championships with the situation around the country with COVID. But what they've seen today, as fans and spectators and family members, would have really impressed them from WA. South Australia had a good crack in the last quarter. Unfortunately, they'd left themselves far too much work to do in the first 3 quarters to catch up. But a very impressive performance from Western Australia, and we hope you've enjoyed the broadcast. We'll keep an eye on these players over the remainder of the season in their Colts and league football at state league level, and wish them all the best with the combine to come and the draft as well for a number of these players, and very bright futures for many of them as well. Jordan, thanks very much for your work today.
Thanks, Dave. Enjoyed getting out here this afternoon. It's been a long time since we had any form of National Carnival Games, 688 days since the last one back in July 2019. So fantastic work by the WA Footy Commission, the SANFL and the AFL as well. So really quick thinking when the borders opened up with South Australia on Wednesday, and a couple of days later the Croaters were here. So fantastic work to all involved for getting a game underway, and let's hope a few more kids get drafted from both states because of it.
Let's hope so. Thanks to everyone that's tuned in today. WA winners by 29 points.